priceless experiences. Napa Valley blunt tasting, spoiling my women friends. Sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed. We are back live. We are back live, man. Welcome back to Coin Gang. Talking about Coin Gang family. My name is Ken Billions. If you didn't know, if you already know what it is, when you come in the chat, if you can see me, press 1, and if you can hear me, press 2. You should be already familiar with how we do. You know, we follow a philosophy over here of top shelf or nothing. If you can see me, press 1, and if you can hear me, press 2. Happy Sunday to everybody. Hopefully, wherever you are loved. You are with people that support you and ride with you all day, and they rock with you, and you are safe. Shay, what's up when you come in the chat? Today, we're going to cook. I'm going to do some preaching today. I'm going to definitely do some. So let me turn my thing down. What's good, y'all? Oppression where? Look, welcome to Coin Gang, the #1 home for personal development. This is where you come in ordinary and you leave extraordinary. This is ministry for the abstract mind, and this is a safe space for all of us with that out-the-box philosophy. This is a conversation that you definitely want to listen to with your brothers, your fathers, your male sons, because today I'm going to do some preaching. If you have children, keep them close. Please keep your babies close. Please, this is not a time for you to be separate from your children. I don't care how old they are. Please keep your children close. And if you have someone in your life and y'all loving each other, man, be patient with each other. Be patient with each other, because this love thing is real difficult. It's real tricky, and everybody has to grow on each other's time. So please, please be patient. You know how when you go in the club, they have an entry fee, right? You got to pay for your entertainment. Well, it works that way for your personal development too. So if you're on Facebook, down below, make sure you grab your supporter badge. And if you are on YouTube, the super chat is your friend, and the Cash App is definitely your friend. You know, I got to do my shameless plugs before we go in. And after this conversation, if you feel like you need an accountability partner, please hit my hotline, 888-565-8734. 888-565-8734. Today is going to be an incredible conversation. We are going to really, really get it in. Oh, and I want to say Tuesday night, we will go into the art and science of personal magnetism, but that's only for my members. So I will be getting in touch with all of my private members, and we will be finishing up with the art and science of personal magnetism. Okay, today, my book of the day, something from my stash, right? Destruction of Black Civilization. When I was really, really hard on my RBG, when I was really hard on my conscious shit, this was one of my goodies. You know what I mean? It definitely, Chancellor Williams did his thing on this book right here. I've had this book for many, many moons. The pages are all ripped up, but this was a good intro intro to how things look the way they look, right? So I got this book many moons ago, and if you're interested in African history and how, you know, certain groups of people are over top another group of people, but what this book taught me though is everybody gets their time in the sun though, right? Everybody gets their time in the sun on the planet Earth, right? Everybody gets their shot to be at the dominance hierarchy. That's what I learned from this book, right? Africa got its shot, you know, for a long time. Asia, China is probably about to come and get its shot. America had its shot. Native Americans had their shot, right? Egypt had their shot. Everybody gets their shot. And then whoever has the better technology winds up overpowering another group of people. But that's what I got. That's my book of the day. Destruction of Black Civilization. Check that out. Today, we are talking about labels affecting confidence. We're going to talk about the most powerful force in the universe. All right. We are going to talk about accepting Black genius. Accepting Black genius. That is a very, very difficult thing for people that have brown skin to accept Black genius. What do I mean by that? That Black people are smart. Now, some would say, the author of this book is Chancellor Williams. Angela, how you doing? Chancellor Williams, right? It's pretty good. It's old school. This is old conscious community right here, right? I'm from the old school. When I say accepting Black genius, when you see a person in a financial situation or they're winning, many Blacks have the tendency to say, oh, someone is letting them doing that, or they have to be in the Illuminati because they can't accept Black genius, because Black genius somehow makes them feel a certain type of way. It points, it shines a light on whatever they're doing wrong. But by the end of this conversation, I definitely want to get you comfortable with Black genius and 10 commandments for Black men. And that is our conversation today. 10 commandments for Black men. 2022 mental upgrade. Before I get into the topic, I would like you to like and share the video because it's going to be a doozy. So our conversation today, and I'm going to open up the lines for those after the build if you want to talk, if you want to challenge, because my mentality right now is oppression where? Where's oppression? Where? I'm clapping. So for those that want to show me where oppression is, I'll open the line up later, right? Because I want you to show me it in your life, right? So that is our conversation today. 10 commandments for Black men. 2022 mental upgrade. Y'all ready? Before we get in our conversation, we have to look at something real quick. I want to look at robbery. You say robbery? Yeah, robbery. Why robbery though? Well, you'll know in a second, right? Let's understand the types of robbery because a theft has taken place, right? But we need to know what type of robberies exist. Well, let's get into it, right? Robbery. For someone to commit a robbery, the perpetrator must take the property of another against his or her will. This can include use of threats or physical force, as well as coercing the other party to give up the property. A robbery is a class 4 felony charge. For first-time offenders, the sentence can be between 3.75 years in prison. For this, with previous felony convictions, jail time can be 2.25 to 7.5 years. All right. Aggravated robbery. Aggravated robbery refers to robbery committed with one or more accomplices present at the scene. The same basic qualifications for standard robbery must apply. This crime is a class 3 felony. The minimum sentence time for the first-time offenders is 2 years in prison with a maximum of 8.75 years. The repeat offenders, the minimum sentence is 3.5, while maximum is 16. Now, this is, of course, I'm reading Arizona robbery, right? I'm going to show you why I'm reading this. Then you have armed robbery. As the name suggests, an armed robbery occurs when someone conducts robbery while in possession of a lethal weapon or with the threat of deadly force. The victim does not need the weapon for a robbery to be armed, so long as the weapon was on the perpetrator's person at the time of the crime. Armed robberies carry the most severe sentences and are class 2 felony charges. Prison time will range between 7 and 21 years for first-time offender and range between 14 and 28 years for those with previous felonies. In addition to jail time, the court may also sentence additional fines, restitution, and other punishments deemed necessary based on the extent of the crime. A sentence also will consider the value of items during the robbery under laws pertaining to theft. Now, why am I reading about robbery? Why? What's the why? Because there's a type of robbery that is not on this list. The type of robbery that is not on this list is what happens when someone steals your dreams. Now, there was armed robbery, right? Regular robbery. There's different types of theft. But what happens when someone steals your dreams, though? Because I didn't see that type of robbery on the list. The black male's dreams have been stolen, but that wasn't on the list though. The innocence in the black male since a child has been snatched and stolen. But did anybody see that on the list though? There was no classification when you steal someone's dreams. There was no classification when you steal someone's innocence. And these black males' innocence have been stolen. The black males' dreams have been stolen. But who has stolen the black male's innocence? Who has stolen the black male's dreams? Who do you think, huh? Who do you think? I'll tell you. You have. You stole young black male's dreams. You stole young black male's innocence. You know how? By the words that you say. You stole the black man's innocence when he was a child. You have taught the black man to live in fear. You have taught the black man that he's some victim. You have taught the black man that he's oppressed. Words matter. Bruce Lipton talks about the biology of belief. What happens on a cellular level when we begin to believe certain things? See, where we're from, we're not taught words of affirmation. That's not what we're taught. We're not taught to put positive language after I am. No, that's not what we're taught. Do you know what we're taught? We are taught that we are oppressed. We are taught that we are victims. We are taught that the system is rigged. There's nothing positive. We don't even have positive names. Our names don't even mean anything. Now, you thought I was going to blame someone else for stealing the dreams of the black man. No, I'm not, though. I'm actually not, though. I'm going to blame each and every one of you, because when a person like me comes along and says, oh man, these men are not oppressed, you'll say I'm an agent. You'll say that I'm a coon or I'm an Uncle Tom. Why? Why am I the agent? Right? But the people that taught the black man these things is not an agent. But I'm an agent. Something is wrong with me because I come along and I tell the black man that he can. And I pull back history and I show the black man that people that look just like him have far worse conditions, and they did. So it's okay to use negative language to black men, and that's fine. If I say the black man is oppressed, I get elevated as a leader. If I say the system is rigged, I get elevated as a leader. If I say that the black male is targeted, which is all negative language, right? I will be elevated as a leader. But if I say that the black man is capable like every other man, if I say that the black man is not oppressed, I'm the coon. Interesting. And y'all do this to black males when they are little kids. These boys have dreams. These boys have goals. These boys think they can be anything they want. And here you come with your negative language. You don't teach black male boys affirmations. But y'all like the word oppressed. So let's look at the word oppressed. Oppressed. Unjust or cruel exercise of authority or power. Y'all have put racial components on the word as if this is not happening around the world in different type of governments. No. You have made oppression be white to black, but anybody with power can be an oppressor. What does the term say? What does the definition say? Unjust or cruel exercise of authority or power. Something that oppresses, especially in being an unjust or excessive exercise of power. What's the next one? A sense of being weighed down in body or mind. Depression. So oppression can be depression. But who is unjustly treating you wrong right now in your life? You know what you'll do because you're masters of history, but you trash in the present and in the future. You tell me, but what about Black Wall Street? What about it? What about Nagasaki and Hiroshima? What about Pol Pot in Cambodia? What about Joseph Stalin in Russia? What about him and he died during the Great Leap Forward with Chairman Mao? We can peel back the layers of history where humans are being human. That's not unique. People burn your shit down and you build it back up. But don't tell me about a situation where people did something to you or you're kind and you didn't do nothing back. Why are you telling me that some people impose their will on you? No, tell me what you did about it. Don't talk to me about competition because that's what this is. Competition. If you have anything, somebody's going to try to take your shit. If you have a pretty wife, other men are going to try to take her. If you have riches, someone's going to try to take it. That is the history of man. Someone is going to come for your things. What are you going to do about it? Now, the true definition of oppression that people are actually living with is a sense of being weighed down in body or mind. The Negro is mentally oppressed. Because if I asked you who's doing something to you right now and you don't do nothing back, you're a punk. So which man in my chat is going to tell me right now that right now unjustly or cruel authority is exercising their power on you? My question for you is going to be, well, what are you doing about it? And is your woman watching this happen to you? Is your children watching this happen to you? So you're being oppressed in front of your wifey and your children, and you're not doing nothing about that? And you're okay with saying that in my chat? Nah, I know I don't have those kind of men in my chat, right? Because when I frame it like that, it makes you sound like a B word. No. The Black male is oppressed in the mind because since he was a child, people have been telling him that he is under someone else since he was a kid. And then you expect this man to grow up and be a protector and a provider the way that you've been talking to him his entire life? Oh, no. Matter of fact, you call the Black male king. But a king is a male ruler of a country, usually inherits his position and rules for life. So the Black male is oppressed, but he's also a king at the same time? Or we'll go with the second definition, right? A boy who was highly respected and very successful or popular. Or a boy who is awarded the highest honor for an event or contest. But we all recognize king as a royal position. So do y'all mean the words that y'all say out of your mouth? When you call each other kings, do you actually mean that? Because how can you be an oppressed king? How can you be a king that is scared of the police? Are you a king or not? Is the Black man a king? Why do you use this language if you don't mean it? Because you can't be an oppressed king. There have been kings in history that have been killed in war, and that's admirable. but the king can't be oppressed. So when you calling the black man king, do you mean it? Or is just that terms of endearment like baby and honey? Because if you truly mean that the black man is a king, then y'all no longer can say you're an oppressed, you're oppressed, because you cannot be an oppressed king. Do you mean the words that you say? Stop calling these little boys kings and then telling them they're oppressed. Stop telling these little boys they're oppressed, but then turn around and call them king. That's very confusing. Because doesn't a king have power over his environment? See, y'all just use words, but you don't really mean it though. So y'all want to be a lot of things at the same time. Y'all want to be kings, but victims at the same time. And it don't work. The language sounds good, but y'all don't believe it though. Because a king has a specific type of behavior, right? So I need all the kings in the chat room to say what's up, right? Because you can't be a king and oppressed at the same time. So you have to pick a fight. You have to pick one. Are you a king or are you oppressed? You can't say both. Which one is it? You a king? If you're a king, then you take on all challenges, right? If you're a king, then you ain't ducking no smoke. If you a king, you can't be oppressed. Now here's the tricky thing, right? Here's the real tricky thing. Is because the majority of black males in America are of the Christian faith. Y'all talk about white supremacy a lot though. Y'all talk about white supremacy a lot, which is confusing. Because if you are a Christian and you are a believer, but you talk about white supremacy, how come you don't have more faith in your deity than you do the system? See, I'm confused. Do you believe in Christ? I can do all things through him who strengthens me. So why are you talking to me about oppression? How do people that believe that they can do all things through Christ, but you talk about white supremacy? So which one is more powerful? Is the love of Christ, is the energy of Christ more powerful than white supremacy? If it is, then you no longer can say it because you're going to lean on the strength of your deity. Which one is it? Can you do all things through Christ or are you oppressed? Which one is it now? Which one is it? You have to pick. Because if white supremacy really is defining your life, if oppression is really defining your life, then what's your belief system for? What does it do? Because if it can't assist you in overcoming your hurdles, then you need to put it down then. So which one is it? Can you do all things through Christ that strengthens you? Or does white supremacy and oppression define your reality? Don't talk to me about the wealth gap when you can do all things through Christ. This is what y'all said, right? See, y'all like to clap your hands and you like to wear Easter suits, but put your faith against the thing you most fear, though. You talk to me about systematic racism, but you're a Christian, though. What does your God think about systematic racism? Has your God equipped you with all the necessary tools to conquer every hurdle? I thought the Lord is your shepherd. You shall fear no evil. See, y'all just be talking. Are you oppressed or are you a king? Which one is it? Are you a Christian or are you a non-believer? Because if you're a non-believer, then I get it, right? I get you talking about oppression, right? 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 I get it. If you are a Christian, no, why are you talking about white supremacy? Why are you talking about oppression? See, they don't mix, right? Because you have the power to overcome and you got the power to overachieve. See, y'all don't believe the things y'all be saying. Y'all just be talking because it sound cool. Y'all like to quote scriptures, but put that against the thing you fear the most, though, right? Y'all talk about racism. Y'all talk about all this outside things, right? But tell me about your faith, though. See, your faith could get you a job, right? It can send you a wife, right? But can your faith, can your belief take on a system? See, it sounds good. Y'all just be talking. Your real religion is victim. That's your religion. The real religion is I can't. That's your religion. You don't really believe in the things that you say. You don't believe in the power of your deity. You don't believe that. Because if you believed in the power of your deity, you would denounce the idea of white supremacy because nothing can be more supreme than your God. Huh? What's more supreme than Christ? You have elevated white supremacy over your faith in Christ. Do you think that your Jesus that you believe in, that your grandmama introduced you to, do you think your Jesus would say the words white supremacy? Your Allah, or whatever faith that you have. You're not real believers. Because if you were, you would understand that the power and belief of your deity overshadows, right, your faith. This is what you say. That's what y'all say. I'm saying if y'all believe in this, right? Because I don't subscribe to no white supremacy. I understand the power of words, right? White supremacy. Do you know what you're saying? Do you know what you're saying? So I'm talking to those that have the faith. If you don't believe in this, fine. I'm talking to those that do. I know the majority, right? I know the majority of Black males are Christian. So I'm coming exactly where you are, right? I'm coming exactly where you are. I'm coming to your faith. Oppression where? Oppression where though? Where's this oppression? Right? You want to talk to me about people being mean to you. You want to talk to me, they're doing this and they're doing that. Where's your faith though? Oppression where? See, it's not oppression. You only fool with things that appeal to your confirmation bias. Right? You only appeal to things that go to your confirmation bias. Right? What is confirmation bias? Not seeking out objective facts, interpreting information to support your existing belief. So when I say you're not oppressed, you're going to be like, but Black Wall Street. I said you're not oppressed. Only remembering details that uphold your current belief. We already got into the definition of oppression. You're personally not being oppressed, and all you need is a position of power that you can exercise on others, so anybody can be an oppressor. How do we know? I like words. People like to make things mean what they want to mean. What does the word term say? Unjust or cruel exercise of authority or power. So a parent can be an oppressor. A supervisor can be an oppressor. See, y'all want to make the oppressor white. Do you know why? Because that's your religion. Your religion is whiteness. Your religion, in your mind, on a cellular level, you believe that these people have power over you, but you can be an oppressor too. And many of you have, but see, you wouldn't call it that though. You would only call the system an oppressor. But what does the definition say? Not what you want it to mean. What does the meaning say? Unjust or cruel exercise of power. Where in that definition does it say white? Mm-hmm. It's okay though if the oppressor is black though. What does that mean? Drive-by shootings in the community? Little kids getting hit with bullets? Girls getting hit with bullets? Oh, that's not oppression? See, y'all don't got no rap for black oppression, right? You say you have no words for those bullets hitting those kids. The so-called good men is not going to take his community back from people that terrorizing it, right? The people that you call the Pookies and Ray Rays, right? Do old ladies feel safe walking down the street? That's not oppression? Oh, because you only equate oppression with the Board of Education or the Federal Reserve or slavery. But the definition of oppression says unjust or cruel exercise of authority or power. See, many of you are under the second definition of oppression, which is a sense of being weighed down, body and mind, depression. Your oppression is in your mind. You know how I know? Because nothing stopped you today from doing exactly what you want to do. You rolled up loud, you drunk, you had sex, you watched the football game. What is stopping you from doing what you want? Tell me. Don't ride off elders' history. You use their history, their pain to try to tell your story, yet they don't relate to your behavior though. You don't honor the elders because the elders didn't make baby mamas. So don't talk to me about Malcolm. Malcolm didn't make a baby mama. Don't talk to me about Martin Luther King. He didn't make baby mamas. He didn't go to black businesses with $9 when they were selling something for 10 and say, bruh, man, just hook me up. Don't talk to me about the elders. Don't talk to me about those people's pain that you're trying to steal. Those people was in the farming and agriculture. Don't talk to me about Black Wall Street, people that were entrepreneurs, but you scared to take a risk. See, you like to ride off other people's wins. But what's up with you though? You had a baby that you don't want all because you don't like how a woman looks, sucker. Don't talk to me about oppression. If you believe that you're oppressed, why wouldn't you stay with the woman that you have a kid with, huh? When the statistics show that a two-parent household is the best situation for a child, right? But you picked your happiness, so you don't believe that you're oppressed. Because if you're oppressed, then why is your kid growing up in a house with no man in there, though? See, if you really thought you was oppressed, if you really thought you was at war, your behavior would resemble what you believe. See, I wouldn't see that many dancing videos online, black man, if you thought you was oppressed. I wouldn't see so many pranks, right? I wouldn't see you looking in the camera beefing with other people. See, I wouldn't see you putting your business online, going back and forth with your family. See, if you thought you was really being systematically targeted, your behavior would be different, because that's what I would expect someone to do when come on now. Are you oppressed or not? But then you a king, no, and then you talking about submission. So hold on, let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. So an oppressed man wants women to submit to him. How does that look? You think you're oppressed. So a man that's under whatever's oppressing him wants the woman to be under him. Am I getting that straight? See, because if we're talking about submission in its regular 3D sense, I would expect the woman to submit to a force that is stronger than her. And I'm not talking about physically, right? Because that's not the only forces that are at play. You also have unseen force as well, right? So you're an oppressed king that is disgruntled about the woman in your group submitting to you. How do y'all talk to women about that? Because that's an interesting thing. So you're laying in the bed and you are talking to her about submission, yet you're talking about a system is being unfair to you. I think the women in your group would expect or respect and have an admiration for a warrior class of men. So you're not a warrior, right? But you want submission from the women. Huh? That doesn't make no sense, right? Because what exactly they're submitting to? You want submission, but you are openly submitting to another man. This is what y'all say. Because when you say that the system or America or the European is doing something to you and you're not doing it back, you are submitting to another man, and then you're creating content and talking points because the women in your group don't submit to you. How can you submit to somebody you don't respect? Are you a king? Huh? Are you a king? Or are you oppressed? Which one is it? I'm going to call you a king because I don't believe that you're oppressed. I believe that people have stolen your innocence. I believe that people have tricked you. I believe that you have embodied a victim narrative because of fear. And I get it, because life is hard. And the men before you probably didn't leave you anything to work with. And you probably have made some bad decisions in your life. So I understand, right? But you have embodied this belief system, right? And the only thing that you consume is confirmation bias to your belief system, because you don't believe that you're good enough. But I don't blame you, because since you was a little boy, people have been telling you to fear the police. But I thought you was a king. Why are you a king riding around in your car scared of police? And you probably make more than the police. I thought you watched mafia movies. Didn't you see that they control the police with money? The black man hasn't thought to control the police with money. The black man hasn't thought for a second to move his money around to get the police in pocket. I thought y'all watch mafia movies. The mafia controlled the police. They had judges in pocket, right? I'm just saying, if you are a king, you can't be oppressed. If you a king, think like a king. All the rappers named themselves after mafia people, but nobody implemented what the mafia was doing. Why are you riding around scared of the police? Why don't you pay the police off? You never thought about that? The mafia did it, right? Other people did it, right? Bumpy Johnson did it, right? Because guess what men do? They figure out the problems. So don't come to my page when I say oppression where and be crying. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know how when you're lifting weights and you finish your set and you like, oh, what weight? What weight? That's how you deal with oppression. Is shit hard? Hell yeah. Why wouldn't it be? It's the nature of man to not let other men get shit. What are y'all expecting? Right? What are y'all expecting? Are you expecting other people to be kind to you? See, I have a different expectation. I understand people compete with each other. So what y'all call oppression, I call competition. Either I'm a win or I'm a lose. Either I'm gonna figure it out or I'm not, right? And I've always been behind the 8 ball. I wasn't born working with shit, right? I had to get it from the mud and use my mind. And I might fall short in life. May the best man win. But what you call racism and oppression, I call competition. See, I relabel the shit because I understand using those terms is bad for your confidence. I understand the power of belief, right? But I need you to decide, any black man that's listening now, are you a king or are you oppressed? You can't be both, though. Which one are you? Are you a king or are you oppressed? Now, if you're a king, then you're gonna move and operate and think like that. And your mindset is always gonna be solution based. You're not gonna quote what king is quoting statistics back at me? Yeah, 50% or 30%. A king don't give a damn about that. A king looks at the percentage of those who've made it, right? And says, yo, I'm part of the 5. I don't give a damn if 95 can't go, I'm gonna go. Because I'm a king. I'm a king. Right? Huh. What is the most powerful force in the universe? Right? What's the most powerful force? According to the Kabbalion, mentalism. Huh? Mentalism. Hold on. And sir, I've been on probation. And I put myself on probation from my decisions. The system didn't do anything to me. I'm talking about me personally. I put myself in a position to be handled by these people a certain type of way. If I hadn't made the decisions that I made, I would have never been there. We talk a lot about the system, but the system is based on your habits, right? There's a way to stay out the system. Why we don't talk about that? Why we don't talk about decision making? Why do we need the system to be perfect for us to be good? The system will never be perfect. Do you know why? Because guess who's in the system? Humans. Humans are the system. So the system will forever be flawed because man is flawed. What are you expecting? So I could have stayed out the system, but I didn't. So when I put myself in the system, I put myself in a position to be handled a certain type of way. And that's what happened to me. My ass got handled a certain type of way. But let's back up though. How did I get in this situation? Now, some people will say, but white people do it too. I know y'all love that, right? Right? Y'all have a white thirst. Well, let me tell you about my experience with system and the whites, right? When I went to prison, guess who else was there? White boys. And it was doing a lot of time. And white COs were not giving these white boys preferential treatment. In fact, they were going hard on the white boys. And guess what I noticed though? Poor whites in the prison were being treated differently than whites that had status. And guess what? When I come out in the world, poor whites in the world are treated differently than whites that have status. Guess what else I notice in the world? Rich blacks are treated different than me. So what am I talking about? Class. You're always having racial conversations instead of class conversations, money conversations. Now, does that mean rich whites are gonna like rich blacks? No, it don't at all. But rich blacks come before poor blacks. A rich black child that needs a heart transplant or a kidney transplant is going to get it before your child. A rich black child gets a better education than your child. LeBron James' son does not experience the reality that your child experiences. But only thing you'll tell me is, but people are racist to them too. Of course, you know why? Because everybody likes their small ethnic group. That's what y'all have a hard time dealing with. You know why? Because the black male is lacking confidence that he needs to be liked and accepted by every single person. If he is not liked, if he feels any type of rejection, then something is wrong with the system. You want to laugh and joke and key your way into people's lives. Guess what people like? Assets, which means how can you benefit me? Why would other people like you, black man, when you don't benefit no one else? Benefit people and then they'll bring you in. It's a what have you done for me lately business. But the number one power in this universe and on this planet is mentalism, is thought. Thought. Nothing can stop a focused mind. Nothing can stop a focused mind. Right? The all is mind. The universe is mental. Thoughts lead to the manifestation of things and events. Thoughts create our state of existence and the quality of our experience here on earth. Therefore, be responsible for everything you create by being responsible for everything you think. Do you know why I say oppression where? Do you know why? It's because I understand the power of the mind. Right? So I understand if I talk about oppression, that's what I get. And you know how I know that? It's because when I talked about it, that's exactly what I got. You can't stop a focused mind. You can't stop a person that creates in the mental world. Those skyscrapers you see in your city, that came out of a person's mind. I don't know if you ever been to the Hoover Dam, but it's amazing engineering. That came out of a person's mind. The Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, that came out of a person's mind. All is thought. You got to be careful with the words that you use. You talk about white supremacy so much, that's all you see. That doesn't govern my life, though. That governs your life. And you have a right to have your own reality. But there's nothing supreme other than nature. That is the supreme nature supremacy. Don't talk to me about color supremacy. How the hell is a white man supreme? What are you actually trying to say? Have you read Ben Klassen's The White Man's Bible? We're talking about white supremacy. Have you even studied those real white nationalists like Tom Metzger and Matthew Hale? Did you know there was a thing called The White Man's Bible? Where in it, he breaks down the survival of the white race and what to do. Have you read the book? What are you talking about white supremacy? What are you talking about? White people don't even know about that book. But you are comfortable talking about a human being that has the same 24 hours in a day as you. You are comfortable talking about a man that puts his pants on just like you, that breathes the same air as you, and you'll call him supreme? So when China takes over, is it them Chinese supremacy too? But here's how I know white supremacy doesn't exist, because it doesn't have an opposite. All things have an opposite. Light, dark, up, down, dry, wet, left, right, dead, alive. So now you are going against duality. Pairs. Everything has a pair, right? You call them supreme. White supremacy. What are you talking about? An ideal, how they think, or how they look? But you're going against things that come in pairs. Male, female. Where's the opposite to white supremacy? So it can't be real because it doesn't even follow law. All things that follow law are born in pairs. Where's the pair to it? What's the opposite of white supremacy? Tell me. If it has no opposite, then that can't exist. We follow laws over here. I have never in my life been around a white person that called himself supreme. And even if they did, they got a right to feel like that. What do you call yourself? What do you call yourself? See, my arrogance is a little different. I don't give a damn. They call themselves supreme. What do you call yourself? Oppressed? If they are supreme, what are you? What did your daddy say you was? What your mama call you? Did your mama call you oppressed when you was a baby? When you was in her arms, did she look at you and say you was an oppressed child? Or did you start listening to these handkerchief heads tell you that you was an oppressed person? Who told you you was oppressed? I love Neely Fuller. Shout out to him. Shout out to him, but I ain't him, and I don't want to be him. But shout out to the elder. One thing about me is I can read all the greats, but I don't want to be them. I got my own mind, right? I got my own mind. Like you should have your own mind. Neely Fuller is great. He got a great perspective. And if he personally believes in white supremacy, that's him. That's what he calls it. I don't, because I practice an abundance mindset. So in my religion, that shit doesn't exist. And I'm willing to live with the consequences of saying that. Shout out to you, though. But I love Neely Fuller, right? All the greats, all of them, right? From Francis Crest to Khalid Muhammad, all of them, right? But a living dog is better than a dead lion. And I'm not into hero worship. Just because they are elders don't mean you can't have your own mind. Just because Francis said it or Malcolm said it don't mean you can't see things differently. Don't never get caught up in hero worship, right? You read it, you study it, you pick their words apart and see their perspective. And then you draw your own conclusion. But shout out to you. I want to talk about accepting Black genius. When I went to the African American History Museum in DC, this man wasn't in there. Modern Black people got the nerve to see a Black billionaire and talk about somebody let them do that. Let? Ain't nobody let this man do a damn thing. He worked for that. You have to accept and embrace Black genius when you see it. And don't put your fear on their contributions and their hard work. Do you understand that some people stay up late at night when your ass is partying, working the plan? Do you understand there's some people that study until their eyes fall off? See, you don't think about that because you don't value people's hard work. You don't let somebody be a billionaire. Only 2,700 of them in the world. Can't nobody let you be a billionaire. You have to come up with some clever things. Let. Who is the person that lets a person be a billionaire? Name them, please. Who's the big homie that's like, yeah, he can go? Who decides that? Y'all self-esteem, Black man, is that tarnished that when you see Black greatness, you can't accept it. You know the only Black greatness you'll accept is if they're civil rights people. So did someone let Francis Cress Welsing be an academic? Did someone let Ashra Kwesi go to Egypt? See, because you apply the let when it comes to Blacks doing well in business. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, cool. So keep the same energy. All your heroes, right? All your heroes from civil rights. Someone let them be like that? Or was they just a genuine article? And their hard work and achievement make you feel insecure because it shines a light on you. So someone, Paul Robeson, learn all them languages? I want to see you try it. You try to learn as many languages as Paul Robeson. Let? You don't let people become billionaires, fam. All they did was talk about slavery when I went to the African American History Museum in DC, and entertainers. This man was not there. I want to see let real quick. Let's see let. Because when I was young, I didn't even know about Mr. Lewis. I had no idea. I had no idea, man. Reginald Lewis was an American businessman. He was one of the richest men in the 1980s and the first Black American to build $1 billion company, TLC Beatrice International Holdings. In 1993, Forbes listed Lewis among the 400 richest Americans with a net worth estimated of $1 billion. 93. Why you don't know? But you know a bunch of civil rights people, Black man. But why you don't know this man, Black man? Why you don't know this man? He was worth $1 billion in 1993, and he didn't bounce a basketball. He was one of the richest Black men in the 80s, but I never heard no rapper mention him. I heard rappers mention Italian mobsters in their songs. Bugsy Siegel, yeah, Luciano, Castellano. Y'all love white. Every time you talk about white supremacy, you get a high. Y'all love white. You love white. Let's go back to this let. Let, huh? Recruited to the top New York law firm, Paul Weiss Rifkin, Wharton Garrison LLP, immediately after law school, Lewis left to start his own firm 2 years later. After 15 years as a corporate lawyer with his own practice, he moved to the other side of the table by creating TLC Group LP, a private equity firm, in 1983. His first major deal was of McCall Pattern Company, a home sewing pattern business, for $22 million. Lewis had earned from a Fortune magazine article that the S-Mark Holding company, which had recently published Norton Simon, planned to divest from McCall Pattern Company, a maker of home sewing patterns founded in 1870. With a fewer and fewer people sewing at home, McCall was seemingly on the decline. Though it had posted profits of $6 million in 19 on sales of $51.9 million. At the time, McCall was a number 2 in its industry, holding 29.7% of the market, compared to the industry leader Simplicity Pattern with 39.4%. Oh, okay. So he took a risk, right? He took a risk in an industry that was pretty much failing. Okay. He managed to negotiate the price down, then raised $1 million himself from family and friends, borrowed the rest from institutional investors and investment banking firm First Boston Corp. But I thought Negroes can't get loans. Y'all tell me, yeah, walk in the bank and see what happens. Okay. Reginald Lewis, he managed to negotiate the price down, then raised $1 million himself from family and friends and borrowed the rest from institutional investors and investment banking firms. Black man can't get no loan though, huh? Let y'all tell it. The only thing that y'all say the black man could do is be oppressed. That is it. Y'all will all come to agreement on that, which is weird because it's hard to get you Negroes to agree on things, but you all agree on oppression. But it's not enough to unite you to make you go into business with each other, though, because if you all have that in common, then that's a starting point. So if you're in agreement about a thing and that's your core values, then why don't you unite based on that? But you don't. You only use it as a point to come together in pain, and then you go back to nigging again. But I thought y'all honor y'all ancestors. But why you don't honor Reginald Lewis? I know why, because he's a businessman. You don't honor business people. You only honor those that have been lynched. You only honor those who's nameless from slavery. Those are your ancestors. But anybody that did well in business is not your ancestor, though. Do you know why? Because it's a poke at your current situation. See, you have no accountability when you talk about your ancestors during slavery. You're not required to do anything. But if you honor those people that has major contributions in the business world, then what the hell are you doing? See, you need the narrative that Black people have never done well in business. You need the narrative that capitalism has always been against Black folks. You need that narrative. But what I'm reading about Mr. Lewis, he's a risk taker. When I'm reading about Reginald Lewis, he didn't take no for an answer, and nobody let him do anything. Within a year, he turned the company around by freeing up capital tied in assets such as building and machinery, and finding a new use for machinery during downtime by manufacturing cars. He then started to recruit managers from rival companies. Wow, sounds like a smart dude down with competition. He further strengthened McCall by containing costs, improving quality, beginning to export to China, and emphasizing new product introduction. This new combination led to the company's most profitable year. So Mr. Lewis took a company that wasn't doing much and made it boom. With the addition of McCall Real Estate worth an estimated $6 million that the company retained ownership, he later sold McCall at a 90-90 to 1 return, resulting in a tremendous profit for investors. Lewis shares was 81.7% of 90 million. In 1987, Lewis brought Beatrice International Foods from Beatrice Companies for $9. Oh, God. In 1987, Lewis brought International Food from his companies for $985 million, renaming it TLC Beatrice International Holdings, a snack food, beverage, and grocery store conglomerate that was the largest African-American owned and managed business in the U.S. The deal was partly financed through Mike Milken of the Maverick Investment Bank, Drexel Berman Lambert. Interesting. In order to reduce the amount needed to finance the leverage, Lewis came up with a plan to sell off some of the division's assets simultaneous with the takeover. When Beatrice reported revenue of $1.8 billion in 1987, it became the first Black company owned to have a more than $1 billion in annual sales. At its peak in 1996, TLC Beatrice International Holdings Inc. had sales of $2.2 billion, number 512 on Fortune magazine's list of 1,000 companies. Oh, he ain't an ancestor? Shut your pie hole, please. I don't care about offending you. It's offensive to tell Black men that they're oppressed. It's offensive to tell Black men that they're marginalized. It's offensive to not teach Black men the business history of Black men in America. That's offensive. That's offensive. Put a sock in it, Jaffe. It's offensive to Black men, little Black boys, not to teach them that Reginald Lewis didn't basketball. That's offensive. I don't care about offending you. That's offensive. But it's okay to call the Black man oppressed. It's okay to tell the Black man to be scared of the police. As long as it's fear-driven, as long as it's slavery-driven. But God forbid one of us get up here and talk with arrogance and confidence in itself. What are you talking about? Boom. This is Mr. Reginald Lewis's book. This is Mr. Reginald Lewis's book. What you chop about? What you on about? Why should white guys have all the fun? That's the shit I'm on. Huh? Not gonna tell me that white boys are the only ones that can have fun. White women are the only women in the world that can experience pleasure, can experience luxury. What are we even alive for? What are we doing this for? What's this for? What's the play? What you want, some afterlife shit? What you want, some we'll be good when we die? Why should white guys have all the fun? How was created a business empire. Where's his statue? They got a museum in Baltimore, but why is this not national though? Globally, everybody knows Black Americans for entertainment. They don't know Reginald Lewis though. So when I say who took the Black man's innocence, when I say who robbed the Black man of his dreams, y'all did. Y'all did. Because the only thing and the only kind of language that you got for little Black boys is that they are somehow a victim of the system and life is happening to them. What? And then when they grow up and they start gang banging, or they grow up and they have children and they run away, or they have a wife and they run away, then everybody, well, why is he doing that? His confidence is shot since he was a kid, because y'all don't got no words of affirmation. Y'all don't have conquering language for little black boys. You don't tell black boys to conquer. You tell them to acquiesce to everybody else. Be scared. Go in the corner. Meanwhile, he has to go to school and learn about Napoleon conquering. He has to hear about General Patton's military mindset. He has to hear about George Washington's military leadership. He gets taught every single day that these other men are into conquering and dominance, and they're on the top of the dominance hierarchy. But when he comes around black people, the only thing you could tell him to do is pray. That's the only thing you got for him. You tell him to pray. But here's the confusing thing. You make him a Christian, but then you don't believe in the shit that's said in the Bible. I thought you said you can do all things through Christ. So what is racism then, man? If you can do all things through Christ, what's racism, man? What is racism if you can do all things through Christ? This is what y'all believe. What is so-called white supremacy? Shouldn't it be Jesus supremacy? Because what's more supreme than Jesus? Do you believe this shit or not? Put your Bible down if you don't believe this. If you're going to talk about white supremacy, systematic racism, and all that, put your Bible down, because you are repping your God wrong. You scary as hell. You make your God look soft. You make your God look like it's okay for you to suffer. You make your God look like it's okay for you to be downtrodden and docile. You don't rep your God right. Why would I want to be your religion and I hear you talking about white supremacy? Why would I want to be your religion? How you going to convert me over to the belief of Jesus and salvation? But I see how you are, your head down, and the only thing you could do around white people is dance. But you don't want to compete on these bars, though. You make them feet move. I make my mind move. I go back and forth with white boys about history and religion and science and metaphysics. Crazy? I'm not dancing. I ain't got a basketball to shoot. I got my mind. But you a Christian, though. And if you believe this, then believe it. And I don't want to hear nothing about no white supremacy. How can the black man be the original man on the planet? This is what y'all taught me, that the black man was the original man. So how can white supremacy exist if you are the original? See, y'all don't believe that shit. You just talking. It just make you feel good. I'm not about feel good shit. Is it that or not? So I'm talking to those Christian black men, because many of y'all are Christian black men. And if you believe that you could do all things through Christ, why are you talking about white supremacy? That's against your belief system. If you don't believe it, then put it down, beloved. What are we talking about here? This is what I believe in. Reginald Lewis, why should white guys have all the fun? This is what I'm on. Because my American experience is not going to be me walking with my head down, right? My American experience is not my wifey or my kids or anybody in my circle thinking that they can't. If we lose, we lose. We just lose. So when I say oppression, where? I really mean that shit. Where, man? Where? Oh, that's what it is? All right, challenge accepted. And if I lose, then they just better men. I could go to my grave with that. If I lose, then you just a better man. But I'm going to lose to the best, though. I'm going to lose to the best thinker. And if you beat me, salute. You get all my fruits. That's how it go. Y'all don't love black men. You hate black men. Look how you talk to black men. Go on my page on Facebook. People calling me all type of stuff. Why? Because I say oppression where? Huh? You want to talk about my eye? I'm blind. That's how mean you niggas are. But it's all good though. Because in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is the king. So it's all good. I'm going to keep working this little eye. And if this eye go out, guess what? I'm going to be working my hands like Helen Keller. I'm going to be working my nose. I'm going to be sniffing, finding my way to the money. I'm going to listen where if anybody counting up dollar bills, I'm going to go over there. And if my ear go out, then I'm going to use my touch. And if I can't touch anything, then God damn it, I'm going to tap into some clairvoyant shit. I'm going to use mine. I'm going to be a psychic. I'm going to get to it. All because I say oppression where? Because I challenge this religion that has been taught to you Negroes that there's a system out there more powerful than your mind. They don't love you. You don't love someone and call them oppressed at the same time. I thought love conquers all. So what's oppression? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oppression, I'm going to give you a new oppressor, okay? I want to see if you blame this man right here. So we could get off the white man, because the white man created the system. He's the reason why all this is like this, right? All right. See, I'm going to put it right back in your lap, original man. You the original man, right? I'm going to put it right back in your lap. And I want to see if he's your new oppressor, right? And then we're going to get in these 10 commandments for black males. Let me see if he's your oppressor now, black man. Uh-oh. Is Anthony Johnson your oppressor? Are you going to condemn Anthony Johnson? Uh-oh. Like you condemn that so-called white man. Why is Anthony Johnson important? Let's find out about Mr. Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson was a black man who immigrated from Angola to America during the 1600s, a time when both black people and white people worked as indentured servants and not slaves. Like other immigrants at this time, Johnson worked as a contract laborer with the promise of a land grant from the colony upon completion of his tenure. He worked on a tobacco farm until he gained his freedom. Then he purchased, 250 acres of land and ran his own successful tobacco farm. Hold on, wait a minute. In the 1600s? Really? Okay, what else? Johnson became one of the first property owners of African descent in the 13 colonies and brought the contracted laborer of 5 indentured servants, 4 of whom were white. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's take this from the top so we're not tripping. This is Anthony Johnson, right? We're going to look at the year because I know y'all like to talk about the oppressor. Okay. So let's go back to the 1600s and let's talk about a person you may never heard about because you swear to God that the black man don't got nothing to do with this, but you do. See, you take full accountability, sir, right? Anthony Johnson was a black man, and I want to send a young shout out to my baby girl, Juice. I know she's watching tonight, so shout out to you, baby girl. Anthony Johnson was a black man who immigrated from Angola to America during the early 1600s, a time when both black people and white people worked as indentured servants, not slaves. Like other immigrants at this time, Johnson worked on as a contract laborer with the promise of a land grant from the colony upon completion of his tenure. He worked on a tobacco farm until he gained his freedom. Then he purchased a 250 acres of land and ran his own successful tobacco farm. Black man in business in the 1600s. So when you talk about 400 years of oppression, please mention 400 years of business. Johnson became one of the first property owners of African descent in the 13 colonies and brought the contracted laborer of 5 indentured servants, 4 of whom are white. John Kosar, a black servant working for Johnson, eventually sought to be released from his servitude, but after a court ruled his tenure as permanent, Johnson legally became the first slave owner. This was the first case in which a servant was sentenced to permanent servitude without having committed a crime. Unfortunately, this set a precedent that paved the way for the proliferation of legalized slavery. Say hello to your oppressor. Look at his face. Look at his face. That's a black man, right? And he didn't want to let another man go. You know why? Because it was bad for his business. And he didn't see him as a brother, right? So is he an oppressor? He had a hand in the way that slavery would operate in the 13 colonies. Thoughts? Anybody? Thoughts? Is he an oppressor? Did you hear what he did? Huh? The man, John Kosar, wanted to be free, and Mr. Johnson didn't let him be free. He was a lifelong slave to Mr. Anthony Johnson, and a black man set in motion what we know as chattel slavery in the 13 colonies. Hold on. I mean, thoughts? What does that do to your confidence, black man? Huh? Does it elevate it, or is he the oppressor too? What I'm showing you is I don't want to hear 300, 400 years of nothing. You mean 400 years of business? You the first everything, black man. You the first liar. You the first cheat. You the first thief. You the first slave owner. What you talking about? But you want to try to damn other people. You know why? Because you don't got no accountability. See, the thing about it is the white man doesn't hide Christopher Columbus. All the atrocities of the white man, they own it. You're going to own yours. Since you think other people have been picking on you. You are the first to do it all. So come up out of your rut. Come up out of your lack of self-esteem. Right? Come up out of your self-doubt and own it all. And take your place in your family. Right? Take your place in your neighborhood, in your workplace, in your children's lives. Right? And be more than what you are, because you are the first everything. Just so we're clear, rewind. John Kosar, a black servant working for Johnson, who's a black man, eventually sought to be released from his servitude. But after a court ruled it as his tenure as permanent, Johnson legally became the first slave owner. Legally, the courts ruled in his favor. Black man ain't never gonna do good in court. But Mr. Johnson won in court to, Mr. Johnson won in court to have this man a lifelong servant. That's what it say. That's what it say. This was the first case in which a servant was sentenced to permanent servitude without committing a crime. Where are you getting your reparations from? Who are you getting your reparations from? See, you don't want no accountability. But a black man named Anthony Johnson set this thing in motion of what you're complaining about. John Kosar wanted to be free. Anthony Johnson took him to court, and John Kosar lost. So I don't want to hear no more about 400 years of oppressive systems and slavery. What I do want to hear is you talk about 400 years of business. Because this was in the 1600s when this happened. And Anthony Johnson had 250 acres of land, a tobacco farm, and he had white servants. Oh, he did have white servants. But I want to talk to you more about black men in business, though. I want to talk to you about black men in business. Let's talk about this, right? This is Anton Doublesset. Okay? Anton, look at the year, was born in 1810 in Louisiana to free black parents. His father was a planter who owned around, let me make this big for you. Can you see that? You see that? Oh, more black men doing business, huh? 406 acres of land and 70 slaves. Who you getting reparations from? Oh, more black men in business, huh? See, because you have a victim narrative, you only take the position of the slave. I take the position of the businessman. You see the world through a slave's eyes. I see the world through the businessman's eyes. That's where we're different. Okay. Let me zoom out. Let me go back to his face. Anton Doublesset. So much for capitalism and blackness, huh? That lie that you've been told. See, I'm going to nail you to the cross till you can't move. And I'm going to shake the victimization out of you. Because I expect more out of you because you can do more. And you have done more. Anton Doublesset was born in 1810 Louisiana to free black parents. His father was a planter who owned around 406 acres of land and 70 slaves. And you know what you're going to say? But it ain't right, though. And fortune favors the bold. After his father's death at age 54 in 1828, Anton inherited his father's estate and went to marry a wealthy black woman. Well, where'd she come from? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. After his father's death at 1854 and after his father's death at age 54 in 1828, Anton inherited his father's estate and went on to marry a wealthy black woman. Well, where did she come from? Oh, she must have came from a good family. So that means it was other black people that had wealth too. Okay. Black wealthy woman in the 1800s, copy. Their combined assets were estimated roughly 95,000, making Doubleset one of the wealthiest planners of his time. In the aftermath of the Civil War, the Southern plantation industry suffered greatly, and this probably contributed to Doubleset's pivot into politics. In 1868, look at the year, he was elected state treasurer, where he faced the hardly task of rectifying Louisiana's financial insolvency. Doubleset was lauded by both Democrats and Republicans, and he managed to serve more than one term in office. Hold on. In the South? He was elected to the Treasury by white men in the South. Wait a minute. Something is off here. Something is off. Because I've only heard about the lynching of black men. I never heard about a black man in the 1800s that was elected by both Republicans and Democrats to be the treasurer in the South. The reason why you don't know him and many others is because it doesn't fit the victim narrative. In the aftermath of the Civil War, the Southern plantation industry suffered greatly, and this probably contributed to Doubleset's pivot into politics. In 1868, he was elected state treasurer of Louisiana, where he faced the hardy task of rectifying Louisiana's financial insolvency. Doubleset was lauded by both Democrats and Republicans, and he managed to serve more than one term in office. He out here marrying wealthy black women in the 1800s, who you don't know her name, who we don't talk about, because the system. Do you see what I'm talking about? What the black man has been taught? This is not hidden. What is it? Is it anymore? Robert Gordon. Robert Gordon was a former slave who bought his freedom in 1846. Where did he get money from? But anyway, he went into business as a coal dealer in 1847 after investing $15,000 in a coal yard. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Y'all don't see, I read, right? And you just can't throw things in there like that. This is a problem here. Where did this man get 15 racks from? This is 1847, and this black man got 15 grand? That's not the story that's told by you handkerchief heads. Robert Gordon was a former slave who bought his freedom in 1846. He went into business as a coal dealer in 1847 after investing $15,000 in a Cincinnati coal yard. Y'all don't see a problem here, man? It's people that don't got 15 grand right now. This man had 15 grand in 1847. But we are taught that black men pretty much have never had no money. He was met with aggressive opposition from white coal dealers who attempted to run Gordon out of business by slashing their prices. Y'all would call that oppression, right? But what does Robert Gordon do, though? Robert then to do the same. Gordon decided to stockpile his own coal supply. Then he hired biracial men who could pass as white to buy up the cheaper coal from his competitors. When freezing weather prevented suppliers from using the waterways to deliver new coal, the coal reservoirs of Gordon's competitors dwindled while his thrived. His shrewd business tactic allowed Gordon to win the Cold War and earned him respect among white coal dealers. See, y'all would call that oppression. He's being oppressed. What did he do? He outsmarted the competition. But this man had $15,000 in 1847 to invest. So what's all this talk about black men and capitalism? What's all this talk about blacks never having no money? Like I said, instead of the narrative 400 years of oppression, no, you have to rephrase that 400 years of business. Going back to Anthony Johnson, but I get it. It doesn't fit the narrative that is pushed, that is attacking the black male psyche every single day. And then you expect him to be a good father and be a good mate and be a contributor. How? Y'all done ruined the man's psyche his whole damn life by telling him he's a victim, by telling him he's oppressed and he can't do nothing, and talking about white male achievements all day. But I could go back 400 years to Anthony Johnson running a tobacco farm that has 250 acres and owning white servants and a black slave for a whole lifetime. I will put these bars on your head. What is we talking about here? But only thing you want to talk about is Tulsa. I'll go 400 years ago to black business. But you don't want to talk about Tulsa to be an entrepreneur. You only bring up Black Wall Street because you're a victim. You don't talk about O.W. Gurley, what he did, and how them people were entrepreneurs. And again, don't talk about nothing about the ancestors because they didn't create baby mamas. Anybody else? Surely this, does it stop? More black money? Really? Samuel T. Wilcox. Samuel T. Wilcox was a highly successful businessman in Cincinnati. He went into the business as a grocer in 1850, establishing a high-end... One second. I was cooking. 10 black people who acquired wealth during slavery. Let's go back. One second. This is T. Johnson, Samuel Cartwright. My page collapsed. Okay. One second. Let me bring that back up. You got black men running around in the 1840s with 15 bands. Not a word, not a peep out of these handkerchief heads. Samuel Wilcox was a highly successful black businessman in Cincinnati. He went into business as a grocer in 1850, establishing a high-end grocery store of a scale never seen before in America. Hold on for a second. What does this say? Samuel Wilcox. Samuel Wilcox was a highly successful black businessman in Cincinnati. He went into business as a grocer in 1850, establishing a high-end grocery store of a scale never seen before in America. In 1850, he sold only premium quality goods, such as hams, dried fruit, sugar, and soaps. His customer base was largely affluent, upper crust members of society. He started business with $25,000 and made $100,000 to $140,000 in annual sales, which equates to around 4.2 million in today's money. What are you telling me about oppression? What are y'all talking about? About black men being oppressed in America? Did you just hear in 1850 this man had a grocery store the likes of that America never seen? That means Cornelius Vanderbilt. That means John Jacob Astor. None of them did this. John Rockefeller. None of them did this. Samuel Wilcox, a successful black man in Cincinnati that you never heard of, but you know people that have been lynched though. You know all the black men been shot by the police, but I can bring up black men from the 1800s that were balling out of control and you never heard of them and you don't want to hear about them. Do you know why? It's because it doesn't fit the victim religion that you have accepted about your place in America. He sold high-end food. He sold only premium quality goods such as hams, dried fruit, sugar, and soaps. His customer base was largely affluent upper crust members of society. He started business with $250,000 and made $100,000 to $140,000 in annual sales, which equates to 4.2 million in today's money. So when I say oppression, where? I mean it. I mean it. Because I'm reading people that didn't call what you're calling oppression, oppression. His business later declined due to Wilcox's negligence and taste for an extravagant lifestyle. His estimated estate was worth 60 grand. Then my man was balling, but surely there can't be no more black men. I mean, damn, more black men? More black men in the 1800s getting money? More? William Alexander Leidesdorff Jr. Who is this? Who is this black man? William Alexander Leidesdorff was a rich, and y'all not going to pull that because y'all call everything black. So accept this too. William Alexander Leidesdorff was a mixed race man who rose to great distinction. His father was a Danish sugar planter and his mother was of American, Spanish, and African descent. In 1841, Leidesdorff arrived in California via a 106-ton schooner called Julia Ann. He set about establishing numerous business ventures, including a successful shipyard, lumberyard, and ship candlery shop. He served as treasurer in San Francisco and built the city's first hotel. What, another black man in the treasury, huh? So you mean to tell me this black man built the first hotel in San Francisco? Oppression where? Leidesdorff is regarded as the first millionaire in America of black descent. In 1856, his estate was valued at 1.4 million, which is the equivalent to over 20 million today. Black man, you can't make no excuses because you come from a history of businessmen. I'm going to give you one more so we know it's not a fluke. Uh-oh, black woman. Two black women, right? But I ain't talking about them right now, right? So you know it's not a fluke. I'll give you one more. William Ellison Jr., the son of black slaves, owned by a white planter named William Ellison. Ellison Jr. was born in 1790 as April Ellison because it was customary back then to name children of slaves for the month in which they were born. Around age 12, Ellison became an apprentice under William McCray, a gin builder from whom he learned to build and repair cotton gins. During his apprenticeship, Ellison learned to read, write, cipher, and do bookkeeping, and also trained as a carpenter, machinist, and blacksmith. He continued to work in McCrete's gin shop until age 26, at which he had been equipped with all skills necessary to become a successful, independent professional. He legally obtained his freedom in 1870 and moved to Sumter County, South Carolina, where he ran a successful gin shop. Ellison owned a 90-acre cotton plantation, 58,000 worth of estate, and 37 slaves. According to the 1850 census, highly respected for his professionalism, he built an excellent reputation as a black man sharing the same social status as whites. Whoa. Whoa. Hold on. A black man owned 900 acres, 37 slaves. The estate was worth $58,000. This man was born in 1790. So when you talk about 400 years that you've been oppressed in America, you better talk about 400 years of business, because I just showed you Anthony Johnson was doing business in the 1600s, and he owned whites, and he had a black slave that he owned for life. Somebody say for life. For life. But you want to be downtrodden though, huh? But you want to talk about the system, and they're taking the men out the home, and they're doing this and that to you. Man, somebody say for life. Anthony Johnson had John Kosar for life. On his tobacco farm that was 250 acres, and he went to a white court, and they ruled in his favor that that man was his slave for life. And everything you hate about chattel slavery, right, was set in motion by a black man. Shout out to you, black man. You've been the first to do everything. You are the first to everything. So what you so mad at the white man for, huh? Because he carried on tradition. You the first every single thing, black man. When you gonna own it though, huh? You the first cheat. You the first liar, huh? You the first baller. You talk about Mansa Musa. You the first chemist. You the first alchemist, huh? You the first deadbeat. You the first husband. But you don't want that though, because you want to be George Floyd so bad. The black men have always made progress. No one lets black men do nothing. You do it because you're capable of doing it. You do it because you're smart. You do it because you are strategic. No one lets you do anything. Why you undermine your own genius talking dumb? Let. Who your big homies? Who's your OGs not building you up with language, not giving you words of affirmation, but the only thing they could talk about to you is that you are oppressed? Well, I got 10 commandments for you, black man. Go get your pen and paper and write this down. Yeah, I've talked about Mr. Jeremiah Hamilton. See, people that have been following me for a long time, salute to you. Salute to you. I've talked about Hamilton. See, I talk about black money and the history of it. See, I don't look at other groups of people and elevate them. I just what? But I'm not with all the oppression talk. They want to be George Floyd so bad. This person right here will not stop following me on Facebook, though. Here's the weird thing about these people, right? They know what I'm on, right? They know what I'm on. They provide absolutely nothing. They got facts. They got data and statistics for you. You know what I got for you? You know what I got? I got rich blacks from the 1800s. I got William Ellison Jr., people he never even heard of. I got Anthony Johnson. Who else I got? I got Paul Coffey. I got blacks that are millionaires in the 1800s. And do you know what these people have? They have nothing but to 50% of blacks and 60% of blacks. Man, I don't give a damn about none of that. None of it. None of it. You all lame and you all weak as hell. And you scared. And you scared to overcome your childhood fears because you ain't got no big homies and your mom didn't feed you and tell you that you was important. So you walk around with fear and you walk around with excuses. I'm walking around and I'm taking my place in America. I ain't scared of nothing. 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 Pimp preacher man. The people in brownstones is pimping y'all out though. The people in brownstones is selling oppression to you. The people in brownstones don't talk to you about Reginald Lewis. They don't talk to you about money. Maxine Waters don't talk to you about money. She talked to you about social programs. A bunch of Mason, Blue Lodge, 33rd degree finessers, fraternity finessers that's playing with your mind while they live in brownstones. They don't give you no books to read. They talk about the system and sell you race all day. I ain't going though. I ain't with it. So I got 10 commandments for black men. And I command you, Chase, to stop following me. Because you on all my posts crying, sucking up the white man's air. What you talking about, sir? Or woman, whoever you are, but I ain't going. I'm not going. I practice an abundance mindset. And I was lied to for years by Negro handkerchief head pastors, civil rights leaders, and everybody trying to keep me away from money. Me too. What is you saying? What is you saying? And I am a joke, but I'll tell you handkerchief head Negroes one thing. I don't create baby mamas though. We marry the women that we have children with over here. We marry the women we have children with. How about that? See, the Negro won't talk back to me on that. We don't create baby mamas over here. We ride the course. You stay down and you stay loyal, right? You put a seed in somebody, you got to stay with them. You got to rock out. You don't get to choose happy, especially if you think the system is oppressive. What kind of nigga talks about oppression, but then has a baby and you don't stay with the woman you have a child with? Talk to me about that. See, y'all don't got no cap. Y'all don't got no rap for that. And talk to me about no system. What about the system in your home? What about your children waking up and see their parents every day together and ride this shit out and work it out? Talk about that. You can't talk about that. But you'll quote stats though. That's oppression. A kid not being able to see his parents work it out. What's more oppressive than that? A kid watching TV with TV dads. What's more oppression than that? I had to look at Danny Tanner on Full House. I had to look at Carl Winslow. I had to look at Uncle Phil. See, y'all won't talk that though. You're going to talk. Not with baby mamas, you can't. Mute. Shut your trap. So I'll be a clown, right? I'll be all that. But I won't be on child support though. Both. I'm beating the victim out of the Negro. And I'm not uplifting nobody because black people ain't down nowhere. So they don't need upliftment. They need a reminder. They don't need upliftment because they ain't down. Uplift. They're not down. Black people ain't on the floor. and haven't been on the floor. These are mind games that are played on the Negro so people can finesse you and take advantage of y'all. It starts with belief. Now, I just showed you 400 years ago, Negroes been balling. I didn't tell you my opinion. I told you real shit with people's names that you could go look up. Been getting money. And that's just the ones I'm talking about now. There's more. Uplift who? How you going to uplift the so-called original man? The original man doesn't need no upliftment. He's the original, right? So part of my tone, but I'm not with it. And I'm drawing a line in the sand for these children, for these women, for these men. It ain't about being perfect, but we are way more than what we think we are. And our place in America is way greater than what we have been led to believe by brownstone civil rights leaders. I'm not going. That's the hip hop in me. They talk about race to you, but they don't talk about monetization and how to use automation. We don't live in a white world. We live in a digital world. And if you're not careful, your children are going to be locked out of the digital economy if you don't change your thinking. What do you mean white supremacy? No, digital supremacy, because it's automation that's going to change your life. It's automation that is going to replace you in jobs you used to work at and retire at and grandfather children into. It's automation that is changing the landscape of America. Where is your children going to eat in 2030? Who's going to program the drones? Who's going to create the flightless cars? Who's going to come up with clean energy innovations? Everybody's not going to play basketball or football. You talking about white supremacy? That's the least of your worries. Automation is going to break the fabric of your family if you're not careful. You're talking about white supremacy? Huh? Here's my 10 commandments for Black men. Thou shalt take care of yourself first. These are my 10 commandments for Black men. Thou shalt take care of yourself first. Take care of your mindset. The content that you're listening to, the music that you're listening to, and the conversations that you are having are ruining your mindset. You are consuming content that has talking points, and you take the talking point and repeat it, but the talking point does not develop your mindset, beloved. The talking point is underdeveloping you. You are listening to things that do not add to the development of your mindset. You speak in massive generalities. Women should do this and men should do this, and femininity and masculinity and all that shit is entertainment. And if I ever get to the point where I do nothing for your mindset, put me down and go to someone that does. The first commandment is thou shalt take care of yourself first. And it starts with your mindset. Beloved, you got to take care of your mindset. Which one of these Negro pastors and Negroes is telling you to take care of yourself? The agent is telling you to take care of yourself. The coon, the joke, right? That's what they call me. The guy with the one eye. Yeah, him. He's telling you to take care of yourself, bro. Your health. Your health is in the toilet, black man. Heart disease. You know how many black men die every year because of heart disease? You on these platforms, they don't like you. They don't care about you. Not talking about your health. Heart disease, cardiovascular issues, man. That's because that's from lifestyle choices, man. Diabetes, stroke, look at all that. Hypertension, kidneys, lower respiratory. How is homicide in the top 5? Take care of yourself. And when you start taking care of yourself, you take care of each other. Take care of yourself, man. Homicide, leading cause of death for young black males. For young black males between 15 and 44, the number one cause of death in 2017 was homicide. Huh? But you'll tell me, but we don't put the guns there. But you use them though. You don't drink bleach, do you? You don't drink dish detergent fluid, dude. That's there too. What that means is there's no conflict resolution. For a young black male, his threat is not the police taking his life, man. Why we keep lying and fronting? That for your black male child, if he's between 15 and 25, his threat is not the police. Why no one want to talk about that? Why are y'all fronting? Y'all not taking care of yourself? Again, not taking care of yourself. 2016 report on HIV risk for black men. February 2016, Centers of Disease Control and Prevention released a report assessing the lifetime risk of HIV in the U.S. by state, as well as by key at-risk populations. The report revealed surprising statistics for black men in the U.S. Among black men, there is a 1 in 20 lifetime risk compared to a 1 in 132 lifetime risk for white men. If these rates continue, approximately 1 in 2 black men who have sex If these rates continue, approximately 1 in 2 black men who have sex with men will be diagnosed with HIV in their lifetime, a rate of 50%. Some of those men have sex with women. Y'all got to take care of yourself, man. And I understand not taking care of yourself because I haven't always taken care of myself because I didn't think that I was valuable to anyone. So if I ruin my life or if I don't take care of myself, who's going to miss me? So I was on a collision course of death because I didn't care, because I didn't have nowhere to be in the morning. So I understand why you don't take care of yourself, because you don't know that you're valuable. But you are, sir. And don't let nobody lie to you. When I come online and I say you're not oppressed, that's love. That's That's not popular in Black America to talk like that. What's in it for me? That's not where the bread is at. The bread is in dating coaches. I could talk that shit too, because I was putting them on their back in 1998. From Maine to Spain. Put a wig on the pig and I was going to dig. I did that too. So I could talk that shit. The money is in telling you that you're oppressed. The money is in trying to get you social programs. So when I come online and I say you're not oppressed, that's love, homie. Because I know the history of America and I know you've been more. Take care of yourself. First commandment, thou shalt take care of yourself first. Okay? Commandment number 2, thou shalt explore your options. You are allowed to travel this world and get completely lost. You are allowed to be in awe about what the world has to offer you. You don't have to listen to hip hop if you don't want. Do you know that? You don't have to wear J's. You don't have to sit at that lunch table. You don't have to make the friends that you make. Thou shalt explore your options to see what's happening out here, to see what life has to offer you. Why not? What you so afraid of? What you gonna lose? You're gonna die anyway. So why not go explore? I'm not one of those people to tell you that you got to be with a certain type of woman. No, you do what works for you. Explore different food, different books. Take yourself to a matinee. See a black and white film. Check out Humphrey Bogart. Listen to Ella Fitzgerald and Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington. They're on YouTube. Check out Frank Sinatra and Dorothy Dandridge. Listen to Lena Horne, right? Go to different museums. The second commandment is for you to open up your options. And I just don't mean women. I mean everything. They lied to you when they said you was oppressed. And if you are a young man jumping off the porch, let me tell you something, man. You have something very, very different than I do. You have time. You got time to bump your head. You got time to make mistakes, man. Right? You got time to see what works for you. Right? My time is different. You know, I'm not 20. I'm not 25. I'm 38. Right? So I got more time than a 90-year-old, but you got more time than me. What are you waiting for? Explore the world. Don't allow these people to tell you that they don't like blacks. No, they don't like them. You are not them. You speak for you. So what happens to that man is not your fate. Come on. So commandment number 2, thou shalt explore your options. Number 3, thou shalt have an imagination. You remember when you was a boy and used to make believe with your G.I. Joes? Psh, 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 psh. You had your Cobra Commander. Pew, pew. How was you able to visualize that plane like that? How was you able to visualize your G.I. Joes playing with each other? How come you could see that? Something happened to you where you can't see things anymore. Something happened to you where you don't see yourself as a husband or a father or a businessman or a world traveler or a scientist, a chemist. or a marine biologist or a paleontologist, right? Or a florist or an artist or a poet, right? Or a nerd or a hippie, right? Something happened to where you can't see anything outside of death. Something has happened. And what has happened is you have been so conditioned to live the life of a Black man that you have forgot what it was like to be you. See, the Black shit is a production, a social creation, but you are the real deal. You know how I can prove it? Look at your hands. In your hands is a design that has never existed before, right? There has never been that kind of print. That is not a Black male design. That is specific to you, right? That's your signature, right? Everything you touch has that print on it. There's never been hands like that before, right? So what was stolen from you was your imagination, man, and your ideals and your dreams, man. And I'm telling you, I don't give a damn if you're 40 or you're 50 years old. Have an imagination, Black man. See yourself with gray hair in your beard, aging, talking to your grandchildren, being youthful. See yourself going to other countries and people are waiting for you and they have a sign up and you have built an international community of friends. See yourself studying, achieving, and accomplishing. See yourself more than a rapper and an athlete, right? See yourself as a samurai and a warrior, man, right? Being able to destroy a man with your bare hands, but those same hands are soft enough for a butterfly to land in. Balance, right? That's all your imagination. That's your third commandment. Thou shalt have an imagination. You create here. This is where you create, okay? This is your laboratory. You cook up in here. The only time you should go in here is when you're creating, not replaying the past. And don't allow people to implant memories in your head that never happened. So when you talk about being oppressed, no, you're not, right? You have accepted a memory that you have never even lived. You should look into RAS, the reticular activating system, so you can fix your filter because your filter is off, right? Memories can be planted in your mind that have actually never happened, right? So, number 3, thou shalt have an imagination. Number 4, thou shalt have standards. Environmental standards. That means, yes, you are good enough. You are good enough to be certain places, right? Yes, you are better than certain things. Yes, you are. You can have environmental standards. They call you bougie. So what? This shit gotta be right. Top shelf or nothing, right? We can't come janky. What has happened in the Black male that your environment, it doesn't have to be top tier. I don't care if you live in a shack. How does it look inside? I don't care if you have to sleep on an air mattress. How do you dress it? I don't care if you're on your first apartment and you're struggling because you work in 2 jobs that don't pay much. What does the inside of your environment look like? Right? Keep your stuff up to par. Have a code when it comes to your environment. You're not wrong because you ask, yo, what the hell? I'm too good to be in a place like this. Ain't you from the bottom? Ain't you from the mud? Hmm? Ain't you from the projects? So why do you have survivor's guilt when you come up out of it and you don't expect better? While you're here, what's wrong with you? Why can't you be a G? Why can't you be a private plane nigga? Why not you? Why you can't be the highest star restaurant, the highest star hotel? Why not you? Well, you gonna keep watching Floyd ball in your face? You gonna keep watching Quavo ball in your face? Why not you? And you ain't wrong because when you are in a certain environment and it's not up to code and you expect better, you ain't wrong for that. Don't let nobody trick you like you got to accept that. The fourth one is have a standard, right? Have a penis standard. Let me tell you something. From a from a whore that done slored. Having a high body count is overrated, fam. It really is. I'm telling you honest, bro. Right? I didn't care what I did with my penis, man. You understand? I will put it anywhere. Do you know why? It's because that was my form of connecting. Because I didn't know how to connect outside of that, right? So I done slept with all type of women, man. And I done wasted a lot of money and a lot of creative time that I could have been doing something else, right? And then guess what? It's like a drug. You keep chasing the high. You keep chasing the nut. Because let me tell you something. When I had sex with a 3, right? I'm like, nah, I need better. And guess what? When I had sex with a 5, it was the same. And then I had sex with a 7, and it was the same. And then I had sex with a 10, and it was all the same. All the pussy was pink. Nothing changed. But let me tell you what happened. The same 5, right, told me I should read a book or 2. Okay. The 7 um, traveled international, right, and put me on the game international, right, internationally, right. And the 10 was in the health, got me right, right. What am I saying? The vagina didn't matter. It wasn't about having a high body count. What matters is the quality of the woman. Because the 5 in looks that can change your life is more valuable than the 10 that you effing on. I'm a late bloomer when it come to millions. I ain't a late bloomer when it come to nappy dugout, Furburger, coochie, box, yoni, the forbidden fruit, the thingamajigger, the I ain't new to that, right? So when I'm telling you this, it's from an all-star. right? So have standards, man, right? It's overrated, man. It's overrated, right? It ain't gonna, it's not gonna fill no void. If that's what satisfy you, you'll never be satisfied. You're gonna keep chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. But you can't replace value though, right? So have the penis standard, right? Lifestyle standards, right? Expect the best out of your peers and bring the best when you show up, right? Lifestyle. What are your standards based on lifestyle? Expect the best, right? Simple, right? If you getting money, spend your money on the best that you can afford at that time. The club ain't the best. You know why? You don't leave with nothing. And the club life, look, man, everybody got the light shining on them in the club, man. I've been the dude in the club and the light hits me, right? It's all about me because I'm popping the bottles. I spent $1,000 tonight. And then that light go to another dude. It's his turn. The light ain't loyal, right? So if you grinding, you making your money, use your money on experiences and personal development, things you could take with you for a long time, right? I can't take nothing that them years that I spent in the club standing on couches, you know what I'm saying? On the Dougie, you know what I mean? On the, you know what I mean? On the Cabbage Patch on the couch, you know what I'm saying? I was on the, you know what I mean? Turning up. Bootsy Collins. I was real tough. You know what I mean? Ain't got nothing to show for it, right? All that money. Ain't got nothing to show for it. So thou shalt have standards. Personal standard, right? You got standards and then you got personal standard, right? Personal standards is a code. Gotta have a code. What is your personal codes? Your no-fly zones, your things that have nothing to do with money. You know what I mean? Character, right? When you break up with a girl, do you release her nudes? Hmm? Tell everybody what kind of sex she have? That's lame, right? When you don't talk to a friend anymore, y'all going your separate ways, you tell her secrets. That's not a code. That's lame. You know what I'm saying? Your homie leave his wallet in your car, you gonna go through it. What's your personal code? What's your standards? Hmm? What's your price? How much can you be bought for? Gotta have that. It's a lot of corny dudes with bread. They print money, right? Sometimes a sucker is at the right place at the right time. It happens, right? What's your code though? Your time will come. You know what I'm saying? Right? And then the accountability standard. My philosophy is, and you can have it too, if it happens around me, it's my fault. Even if it ain't. It's because that's how I sleep at night. Because I don't want no one else having control over nothing that's going on with me. There's something I could do. I should have, maybe I didn't move fast enough. I didn't take action, right? Maybe I was blurry, my mind. I wasn't thinking, you know, could have did better in that situation. These are when I go to sleep at night and my tapes are rolling, right? And I'm like, damn, even if it's when I'm driving, sometimes I should have took it, sprung into action. As men, you're always gonna have moments where you're a little short, and you want to roll back the tapes of your day of what you could have did better. You know what I'm saying? Then you should have said this right there. You should have said that right in here. You know what I mean? Should have spoke up for yourself or something, right? Because when you don't roll back the tapes and the little things you're not on, you're not quick to, you don't handle. What happens is it builds up and then it cracks your confidence, right? So have it be accountable for every single thing, right? It's not your mom's fault. It's not a woman's fault. It's none of that. None of that, right? If the relationship go bad, you picked her. Job go bad, you picked that, right? Be the sole controller. All right? That's number 4. That shall have standards. Thou shalt embrace competition, black man. I know that's tough for you to get sometimes. You're so focused on race. You know what racism is? It's competition. And inside of this social construct of race is little ethnicities competing with each other. Y'all think that Asians are working together. That's what you think, because you look at everybody from a romantic lens, thinking that people do things you don't do. They're competing with each other, right? You know what the real world is doing? They're focused on family. While you're focused on the collective, everybody else is focused on their family name. When a Mexican man is crossing that border and he's trying to get through them border ages, you think he's thinking about Mexicans as a whole? No, he's thinking about that child that he left. He's thinking about the woman that he's left, that he's about to be separate from 5 to 7 years so he can build himself up and then send for them. He's thinking about his family. You're thinking about the collective. You're under the mindset that if every black man ain't free, if every form of racism is not stomped out in the world, then you can't move forward. Look, man, you got to embrace competition. Other men are competing with you, but guess what? Competition will bring out the best of you because it's either going to be you or him. If you don't have any competition, you're not going to tap into your best. You know what welfare does? It takes the competition away. If you know there's that little safety net right there, you're not going to do. You're not going to move, right? You want the system to be easier on you? Well, who you think you're going to become, right? In fact, if the system would get more harder and make it more harder for you, it's going to produce brilliant black men. How do I know? Because I just read to you black men that were getting rich in the 1800s. Do you know why? Because it was harder. The pushback was harder. So it triggered something in the mind to be excellent in every space. You see, these men was in carpentry. You see, these men had skills. They had the ability to focus. They didn't have phones they can be distracted by, right? They can focus for long periods of time to be the best. They weren't just trying to be better than white men. They were trying to be better than blacks. To be the exceptional. And they did. So you should embrace competition, right? Because the people that's competing with you are not going to stop. But if they do stop, that's an act of war. Because what they're doing is trying to rock you to sleep. They're trying to make you be docile, right? They're trying to make you feel like everything is good, right? And look at your behavior right now. You don't behave like an oppressed people. You behave like a free people because look what you do with your time. Your time tells you everything. If you really thought the system was rigged, where you spend your money should represent that. Because are you spending it on skill sets that would allow you to overcome something that's rigged? Are you spending your money on training that would allow you to overcome something that's rigged? No, you're not. You're spending your money on pleasure. And that is the behavior of a person that is free. Number 6. Thou shalt love and appreciate your woman. Don't make the woman, right, or women that love you have to prove themselves by you punishing them because you don't think that you deserve to be loved. You want to make the woman do gymnastics, and then she has to get through a crazy jungle of snakes and lions and jaguars. And then she got to get on the battlefield and survive. And then she got to crawl through barbed wire fences, right? You're going to make her go through so much. And if she survives it, then you'll be like, oh, okay. Why? Why can't she just love on you? Right? You're so surprised that someone is interested in you genuinely, right? Right? Why though? Right? Why punish a person for trying to love on you? What you here for? Right? Love and appreciate your woman. Right? Whatever woman that lands in your lap for whatever amount of time. Life is short, man. Right? Life is short, man. Enjoy yourself, man. You don't know how long you got with her. Right? What was the plan? To be chilling with the bros for this? I'm not trying to chill with the bros. We could kick it, play basketball, catch a drink, but I'm not trying to chill with the bros though. That's not my play, right? And I know this sounds so corny right now. Love and appreciate your woman. That's considered a simp. The squares have took the simp and redefined the definition. The simp was a John. Appreciating a woman is not simping. Telling a woman she's beautiful is not simping. Valuing a person that's rocking with you is not simping. Y'all have completely just hindered yourself from moving forward in life, man. You carrying that energy to repel people away, but why? You scared of getting hurt? We all get hurt, right? You scared of someone playing you, but you ain't scared when you take a risk and you go on a plane, right? You're willing to fly over to DR and Colombia to find love. Do you know you're flying over an ocean? You trust that pilot with your life and you don't even know them, but you won't take a chance on love? Because after we get the money and after we turn up and go to Miami and after we cop all the cars, all we got left is love, right? Right? What we doing this for? You know what I'm saying? And don't take it for granted that how that woman looks at you, you'll be able to replace that. You can be a gambler, man, but it's some things you shouldn't gamble on. You have to have discernment to be able to know what's divine for you. Right? I mean, why not? You don't think that's your look? Huh? You keep letting these content creators play you out. these these boys are gonna ruin your life, right? They can't tell you what works for you. They're speaking in generalities. They don't know you. They don't know what you're made of, and they don't give a damn neither, right? So thou shalt love and appreciate your woman. Don't make her a puncher bag, literally or figuratively, man, to prove that she's loyal, right? Just if you want to know who the woman is, just look at our value system. Doesn't take long. That'll tell you immediately. Immediately. What's her value system? And then you'll know. Look past her body. Look past the fur, the camel toe, the snatch. Look past that and look at her value system. And that'll tell you who the woman is. All right. Moving right along. Number 7. Thou shalt be a patriot. Love the land that you live, but hate the politics. Separate the land from the politics. Embrace America because America has a lot to offer for you. Throw away the politics, right? America's the land. America's Niagara Falls. America's the Grand Canyon, right? America's the Delta. You know, America's the art. It's B.B. King. It's the Elvis Presley. You know what I'm saying? America's the great thinkers. You know, people come here to fulfill their dreams. But you hate it here. But people come here and they grab everything that you leave on the table because of your mindset. They grab the education. They grab the ability to participate in the free market. They're going to the national parks and you're not. And you're not. Right? They're going to see Mount Rushmore. You're like, oh, that's white, man. Are you looking at it like that? Or are you looking at the engineering? His face is carved in the mountains. Engineering. Been to Lake Mead? You ever seen the Hoover Dam? You know what kind of engineering that is, fam? You been to Yellowstone National Park or Yosemite National Park? Have you seen a black bear before? Do you go to the zoo? What do you do? Right? You've been to the Grand Canyon? Have you been to Redwood Forest where the trees are so thick that you could drive a car through? And they're so tall and they're so old and it feels like it's enchanted? Huh? You love the land. You hate the politics. The land has never done nothing to you. The politics have. And as long as you black men keep not being a patriot in your country, you're being replaced for other people that will. You don't peep that? You don't peep the swim move that's going on? Since you don't want to be a patriot to your country, you are being phased out by other people that will. But I have a question. When you phase out and other people take your place, other men that are willing to embrace this America shit and all its flaws, what country are you going to? Because Canada don't want you. Mexico don't want you. You going to Africa to do what? You ain't do nothing here. So why would Africa, with all these issues, want a person that's going to come take? What are you bringing? Right? Do you bring infrastructure? What do you do? What do you do? Right? What you want to go Africa? They need great minds. They don't need nobody going over there to take. Where you going to Colombia so you can sleep with those men's women? What are you bringing? What do you know how to do? You gonna go there and teach English? I mean, something. So when you get phased out here in America, and other men will gladly take your place, and they are, what country are you going to? Because whatever country you go to, they want patriotic men. They don't want treasonous men. Nigeria doesn't want treasonous men. Egypt doesn't want treasonous men. Sudan doesn't want treasonous men. North and South Korea don't want treasonous men. Brazil doesn't want treasonous men. You have treasonous behavior, black man. So where you going? Where are you going? Because everywhere you go is going to have some sketchy politics. That's the game. You love the land. Don't worry about the politics. Thou shalt be a patriot. And I'm going to tell you, you can screen record this. I'm going to die about this American shit. That freedom of speech stuff, I'll bang over that. That right to assemble and bear arms, freedom of press, freedom of religion. Oh yeah, I'm going to go platinum for that. I like those rules. And if those rules get infringed upon, that's worth dying for. You know why? Because if I'm not willing to clash for the freedom of speech, what opportunities do I give my son that if this state or this federal government is acting out of line and he needs to speak up, he needs to be able to do that and file a grievance. He needs to be able to have a gun to defend his mother and himself in case I'm not here, right? God die of something. What is worth what you gonna give your life for, right? Country, family, friendship. You are too treasonous, black man. You're too anti. You're holding on to, what do you stand for, right? When people look at the black man in America, what's your cultural values? What's your collective values? What do you value? Money? All right. Anything else? Nobody will trust you if that's the only thing that you value. Because your image is that you have no sexual control and you don't value the women in your group and you don't value the women that you have babies with. You don't marry them. Thou shalt be a patriot. Keep the land, throw away the politics. Thou shalt put back whatever you take. This is really important because a lot of you males, your psychology is that of a taker. All you do is take. When I hear you go into other countries and you want to get with the women, that's fine. You don't bring nothing though. Then I see videos of you in the Colombian clubs and you're making it rain. Like sometimes I detest you being able to leave America. I don't want some of you being able to leave this country. I want you to stay right here and be stuck because you go to these other places and you start nigging, right? I thought you would leave the nig in America. You take it international and you don't bring nothing with you, man. You don't bring no value with you. You just go to Colombia and DR and sleep with the women. You don't even go sightseeing. Your pictures are with women. It's not even at their monuments. I would have a disdain for those people if I was you, if I was them. It's like when I see you coming, I know you're not coming with anything. Look, the rules are this. Whatever you use, put back. Put something back. Take a little, put a little back. Take a lot, put a lot back. Right? Wherever you're at, leave wherever you're at better than where you found it. The way how you found it. The people that you deal with, leave them better than they were before they met you. That's it. That's what you owe the world. That's so simple. You take something, put something back. Doesn't have to be the same thing. It's just you putting back, so you're just not a user and a taker and the sucker of white man's air, right? You have to push something back, right? You want to go to Colombia, you want to go overseas just so you can be with the women? Cool. Bring something to the culture. Put some of those men up on game on something, right? Teach them how to monetize on the internet, right? Try to broker a relationship so you can get some J's or some knockoff purses out there or something. So when you come there next time, it's not just for women. It's the men appreciate you too because you are helping them get some money in their pocket, right? If you in LA, I don't know if the alley's still there, but if you in New York and Baltimore and DC, all these coastal areas have wholesale areas. Get some wholesale stuff down in Colombia. Get some wholesale stuff down in DR. If you're going to go sleep with their women, at least do some business with the men so it's same, and the people there don't have a distaste for when they see your presence, right? Take a little, put a little back. Give a little or take a lot, put a lot back. Just leave wherever you're at, leave it better than when you came. Just leave it better, man. Thou shalt, number 9, the 9th commandment is thou shalt be selective, not collective. That means be consensual with your tribe and don't let the collective use you up. Don't let the collective use you, fam. Right? Don't let the collective try to push data and statistics in your brain. Don't let people with no confidence, don't let people that don't want what you want, don't believe in what you believe in, don't allow them to in-group them into their talking points. Yeah, look at the wealth gap. It's like that. No, you're being grouped with people that don't even want wealth, first of all. Why are we playing like everybody's out for the same things and we're not? We're not, right? Be grouped with people that you have consensually aligned yourself with. Be selective, not collective. That means that the people in your crew, the people you call your people, everybody's there through consent because they want to be, right? People want to be there. It's not based on no weird in-grouping. It's because they want to be there, right? Same ideals, same direction, same focus, same agenda, right? Be there because you want to be there. Don't just allow yourself to be part of this ideal of a collective. What is that? We as Black people, what does that actually mean? How am I being grouped together with people I don't have nothing in common with except the tone of my skin? That's what we have in common? How can that be my people then? Number 9, real simple. Be selective in your group. Don't be collective. Don't be a collective thinker trying to think for 40 million. You know how many 40 million is? You think about this shit for a second. You're saying that 40 million people are your people? You're going to get yourself hurt like that. If you don't vet, you're going to allow bizarre behavior in your circle. So please vet. Be selective, not collective, right? And lastly, this is the final commandment that Ken Billions wants to give you. The final one, Black man, the final one. Hold on one second. Thou shalt be happy. I mean, really happy, bro. Right? A wife, a woman of your picking, kids that respect you, right? A career that you choose, right? Smile. It's so weird to see a black man smiling. People like, what's wrong with you? Right? What you smiling about? Because everything thing is a meme mug, right? I want you to be where you're at on purpose. Be intentional about what you choose for yourself, right? Be enthusiastic about the day, right? The money in your pocket shouldn't do that, right? That enthusiasm puts money in your pocket. People want to be around you. People want to do for you. Just be. Just be. Be happy, black man, while you're here on this planet. I didn't say every day is not going to be different. It is. It's going to have an up and down. I live by a model of good day I'm okay, bad day I'm okay, right? Ain't nobody tell me to be happy, man. Be happy, black man, right? You have that right, right? Be happy. And it starts with what you believe about yourself. It starts with the words that you use. I want you to be happy. Be happy with your decisions, right? If you don't like something, change it. Don't complain about it. Don't broadcast it. If you think there's areas in your life that you need to focus on, focus on it, and do the work silent. Be happy with your outcomes. If you're not happy, do something different. So I'm living by the model of oppression where systematic racism, blah, blah, blah. All of it. All of it. Right? All of it. And if anybody got any smoke with anything I got to say, there's the number you could call in right now. I'm going to bring the link to so you could come through in the chat. Anything that I got to say. Shit that I've been going on Facebook. You don't like the articles that I've been posting up. You don't like me saying oppression now. You don't like me telling black men they're not oppressed. You don't like none of that? The link is in the chat. You could call the number. If there's no smoke, I'll end this classic. But people been having a lot of wah to say. Well, I'm right here. Right? Let me hear how the system is just mistreating you. Let me hear about you not having options. Am I a coon? Am I an agent? Am I all that? Well, I'm right here. Right? That's the real number. Let's chop it up. Because I want to hear it. Because I want to know why you can't do it. Right? And I want to push back on all the people that's telling you bad intel about yourself. The link is in the chat. Who want to chop it up? You want to talk? Because it'd be a lot of little... Who want to talk? When I say oppression, where I mean it. Any smoke? I'm live. I'm saying right now, there ain't nothing oppressing you. Nothing. Nothing. It is all in your head. It is all in your habits. What's up? I give you the floor. You got something with my 10 commandments for black men? You don't like how I'm talking to black men because I'm not telling them to run the victim Olympics. I'm not telling them that they're oppressed. I'm not telling them I'm not telling them that the system is bashing them or targeting them, huh? I'm not elevating George Floyd, huh? You got a problem with that? That's the number. 520-510-3254. Let's chop it up. You've been on my Facebook complaining all week. Facts. Calling me everything but a child of God. There's the link in the chat. There's a number right there. You talking about my eye, all that. All right, well, I'm right here. What's up? Let's talk. I want to see how your belief system lines, can it defeat my belief system? Hello?
Yo, what's up, King Bill?
What's up, man?
Yo, man, I don't got no smoke for you, but I just want to say, man, I really do appreciate the information that you be putting out here for us, man. So, I didn't call here to really, get at you in a negative way, man. But I think it's just a breath of fresh air with the type of information you're putting out there, man. So I just want to, make sure that I give you your flowers now because, I just want to encourage you to keep doing it, bro.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. How old are you?
Man, I'm 40 years old, my man.
40, man. You got a long life ahead of you. You know that, right?
Hey, man, I hear you, man. I'm out here in Arizona with you, man. So, when I see your post, man, I'm like, man, this dude living in Arizona, man.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Do you know a man's life don't really start till 40, bro?
Yeah, man. So I'm I'm a hooper. Well, I was a former hooper, man. I played, I made it. I played in the college level and whatnot, man. But I kind of look at it like, this is halftime, man. So, I'm kind of like, the second half of my life is, starting. So, I feel you when you say that, man. But I think a lot of people, man, they get sucked into that, that mentality. That, once you get older, 40 and over, life is downhill. But, it's totally different, man. It's just all about your approach to it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you a secret, bro. You are, because I'm next, right? I'm 38. So you are the elder of young people, right? But you're the baby of old people.
Hey, for real,
you feel me? Because to an 80-year-old person, you a baby. So when you're a puppy, right? So your life resets at 40 because 20s is about bumping your head, 30s is about basically fixing the things in your 20s. You know what works for you, but it's a reset button though. You know what I mean? And the problem is if your skin is brown, they really didn't give us no pamphlet for when we got this age. Mm-hmm. So a lot of us should be saluted for even being here because ain't nobody give us no compass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I dig, man. I feel you on that.
You know what I mean? So 40, man, you got your whole life ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? So my encouragement, it would just be, hold on to that innocence, man. And you got a right to be happy, right? With responsibility though, of course, right? But you have a right to be happy and you have a right to be a dreamer. You know what I mean? To tap into your imagination. And when something doesn't work for you, got a right to start from scratch, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. And don't believe none of these narratives. Now, I never said life was easy. I never said that. I never said
man, it's all about trials and tribulations.
Right.
And, overcoming.
Right. I never said that life is not going to give you pushback. When I say oppression, look, you was a hooper, right? Right. So if you bust somebody ass in the gym, not saying that the dude don't got good defense, but you like, what D? Right? Because you done you have overcame their D. Right? Pause. Pause on that. Right? But yeah. But you've overcame, right? So when I say
Right.
oppression now, and I'm looking at the people that have did it, not saying that things ain't hard, but the people took the challenge on and they are past it and they're ready for a new challenge. So when I say oppression where, I really mean that because I want the challenge, because how am I going to be the best version of myself if I duck the smoke?
Oh yeah, you definitely gotta embrace that, man. Like I always say, man, if you got smoke, I got fire. You know what I mean?
Man,
Because I'm coming stronger, and that's just, I know you mentioned something about being competitive earlier, and I think that's what a lot of people lack, man. Like we want to take the easier road. We want to take the road less traveled, where there's not resistance, where you kind of just, coast through. But, anything attainable there's always going to be resistance. There's always going to be challenges. And, it's up to you to make that choice. You know what I'm saying? Like you're either going to choose up or you're going to stand down at the end of the day.
right. Facts.
So,
Hey, you can appreciate, I'll leave you off with this. The reason why Jordan is considered the GOAT is because he body bag great niggas. Do you feel me?
right.
Do you feel
In
me?
an era where shit, anything was damn near legal. Like they was, the physicality of the game was at a different level. But I feel you on that, man. And I think a lot of people don't understand his greatness because they don't understand the mindset. Like he walked onto the court and people were, grown men were in fear.
Right. Right.
Just of his presence. And,
Right.
the ball ain't got thrown up yet. It's just the presence,
Right.
man, that aura that he carried, man. And, the closest one to that was Kobe. It's just something that, I think it's a skill set that you can develop. But again, you have to be of that certain cloth, man, to where you're down, you're 10 toes down to be willing to compete and really mash for your ration. You know what I mean?
It's unwavering confidence, bro, and that's what I'm
Man.
talking about. So when black men say I'm oppressed, I'm a victim, like the universe is hearing these reverse engineered affirmations like, what? Okay, bet. You feel me? Like, yeah, that's what you are, right? So even when you are scared and you're against, superior forces, it's courage is you rising above because you're scared. Right? Courage is you hella scared, you're hella afraid, but you rise to the occasion.
But you're gonna be, and you know what, man? That's funny because it's funny you say that, man, because I always see that Nipsey Hussle post. Nipsey's probably one of my favorite rappers ever, and it's not necessarily because of what all his his songs and whatnot, but the type of mentality that he had, that underdog mentality of just being fearless and really going for all your goals and whatnot, man. Like to me, he really personified that, man. And that just goes to what you're saying right now. It's like, man, it's okay to be scared. Like Mike Tyson, considered one of the baddest men on the planet ever, said he was always scared going into a fight. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is, man. That's part of the game. But you got to know how to manage, man. You got to know how to manage those emotions and like you said, dealings over feelings, right?
Look, man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm scared often, bro. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right? I'm showing up every day. Ain't nobody give me no game to get here. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man.
Like
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, kid. And when you go about your lives, like, because I know, like, before games, man, I used to be hyped. Like, man, I wasn't scared, but there was that anxious feeling, right? When you get prepared for your lives, like, I'm pretty sure that you're going through a preparation process, but when you hit that live button, is it lights, camera, and action for you, and all the the scared, or the anxiety goes away, or you just go into this like it's nothing? Because I mean, the way you present, man, is it's definitely impressive.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I'll be terrified, bro.
Yeah.
I'm aware of my limitations, right? I don't look at the camera because I have a lazy eye that I'm blind in. I be messing up words when I'm pronouncing them. I dropped out of school in the 10th grade, right? I'm not as polished as other people, right? I'd be terrified. I'd be praying that it's not a little bug that's crawling in my background, right? That people think is a roach, right? I'll be thinking about all these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Right.
but before I press the live, I'll do a quick breathing technique, and then I just tell myself, man, I'm the best to ever do this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then I press play, and then I go, bro. You know what I'm saying? I go, and you know whatever happens happens, and then I'll listen back and see where what I could have did better. Make adjustments, because at the end of the day, I'm the person on the mic, but I need what I'm doing to be meaningful, though. So if
authentic, man, that's what you are too, my man. Like you definitely one of the most authentic. What they say, man. None of that fluff, man. Everything that I've heard from you, and it's funny, man, because I've seen you grow. I've always kind of sat back and just analyze and observe for a while, man. But I've seen you grow, and it's just impressive to see how you've grown over the years to where you're at now, man. And like I said, I know there was some people on there, trying to troll you earlier, man. But I just want to encourage you to keep doing it, man. And shit, if I got a call here every night, to
that's
be
what's up,
that voice of encouragement, man,
that's what's up.
That's something that I can do. Like,
that's peace.
I do believe in giving people their flowers, man. For real.
That's peace, beloved, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. So I got somebody in the back channel, man, but I appreciate your call, man, and good looking, man. And just remember, man, you old to some people, but you the baby to elders, right? And your life, your life is just starting, bro. And you got and your future is better than anything you ever done, man. You know what I'm saying? So I wish that the best of your days be the worst of your tomorrows. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And keep the sun in your face and the wind at your back, bro.
True that, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna keep tapping in too, man. Like I said, you're definitely doing it. You're authentic, and shit, just keep doing your thing, man. Keep growing, all right?
My dog, appreciate you, fam.
All right, my man.
Peace.
Yep.
Shout out to the caller. Looks like I got somebody in the back. Who got over? Hey, hold on, love.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, I was having some trouble logging in, but I got through, obviously. Thank you. I wanted to thank you for the message, and, because I was actually, it's like this message was on time. A lot of people do have that play the victim personality, and I'm one of those people. So you really taught me something today. Like, my father is 5%, part of the nations of the gods and earth. And this is like before I was born. So I was bored up hearing all the time of the white man and this. And I really think I wish more people can think like you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? I think we will be in a totally different place if people were to just take ownership, accountability. That's something a lot of us don't do. And I'm just saying, like, I appreciate this message. I only seen like 35 people on, but at the end of the day, this is a message that really needs to be out there or spread it, because you really on point, brother. Thank you for sharing.
I appreciate you tapping in. Quick question: when you said that you have, if I want to quote you right, you said sometimes you might have a victim outlook.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who have had, and I used to write a lot when I was younger, and I even wrote a lot of things talking about like, oh, this is conscious rap, this is I'm woke, as a child, but I didn't know any better. Because like I said, my father was part of the nation. He's still actually he been 5% for over longer than I've been alive, and I'm 42. So
Hmm.
sometimes, you can't fault people for only because people can only think within their realm of knowing. So,
Right.
you know, yeah.
Hmm.
So,
So so the thing about it is I I personally believe that the intention was good, but we didn't know that what we were rapping and
right.
what we were writing was creating the
Mm,
pain that we say we didn't want. Right.
that is so
So
powerful.
I'll give you an example. Right. I remember I'm a fan of Mob Deep. Right.
Hmm.
So Prodigy used to be like, I'm gonna get on some high school shit. I'm gonna start
Mm,
punching people in the face. Right.
mm,
And in the music, it was so painful.
mm.
Right. Early locks music, it was so painful.
So we can
Right.
identify with
Yeah.
and
And
relate to.
but when we're rapping, we're saying prayers.
Mm,
Right. So when
mm,
we're rapping, we're creating the pain that the rapper is also talking about, because
yeah.
that's in our coming through our speakers, and that's going into the atmosphere, right? And
Mm,
if you notice, very few rappers talked about themselves in the future.
mm,
Like, people might not like Jay-Z, but he never
mm.
rapped about himself in the negative.
So,
He
so,
always rapped about himself owning things,
mm,
having
mm,
things,
mm,
being places, right?
mm,
He always
mm.
kept it on the up and up, and a lot of people gave him pushback for that. But if you look at the artists that talked about a lot of pain, DMX is gone. How did his
Right.
music sound?
It was on the rough around the edges. It was a little rough, but I mean, God
Oh,
bless X. We loved him, but at the end of the
yeah,
day,
of course, of course. No,
yeah,
this is no judgment, because if he
yeah,
knew,
I know.
if he knew,
Mm,
I understand the era that he come from. If he
mm,
knew, and then his background coming from childhood, so he was
mhm.
already set on the course for
Yeah,
certain behavior, right?
right.
So, but it showed up in the music, and that music is very powerful because we're rapping on a mic that's being recorded, that's being listened to by millions of people, that's being recited by millions of people, that's being
Yes.
amplified through people, through speakers. And
Mm-hmm.
now
Mm-hmm.
the content from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, IG has replaced the music. So now rappers are not, people ain't talking about pain, they're talking about pain in the content now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are repeating back talking points that's against themselves.
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
exactly my. Hmm. I'm sorry. I was just gonna add on a little because my younger brother always say even when you write, it's like casting a spell. That's why it's called spelling. It's really yes. It's a lot when it comes to the tongue and what we think. And I'm really on board with you on that. And I'm not like I can't describe why. But like you said, life is not happening to us. I read a book and the woman said the same thing. She said, life is not happening to us. Life is responding to us. It's like
mm,
magnetism. What you think is, we operate on a frequency, vibrations, things. I'm not a scientist. I can't break down why what you put out comes back to you, but it's a law. Is what goes up must come down. For every action, there's a reaction. And we keep cursing ourselves by saying we are oppressed. Like I've
no,
been saying it too. I was guilty of sin until now
I
today.
I did, but I'm not talking about nothing that I never did before. I
Hmm.
I thought that was the way that I was supposed to describe what I was looking at, but that was
Right.
not a good description of what I was looking at. The better description of what I'm looking at is to look at it as a challenge,
Mm,
because if I look at it as a challenge, what that will do is allow me to train. Now, the beautiful thing about, if I look at it as a challenge, is because who will I become while I accepted this challenge?
Mhm.
Who am I going to be during this process, during this journey of changing my body, changing my diet, changing what I read, changing my environment, because I accepted this new challenge, right? So
Right.
who am I going to be during the process, right?
Right.
And you are a scientist because you use words, and words create worlds, right? The
Right.
world that we live was created by words, right? If you look at the Bible, this thing is creating with words,
Mhm.
right? Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. It's not through hand, it's through the word. That's how
Right.
powerful
Right.
the word is. And
Mhm.
everything that the creator said, let it be, and it was.
Right.
Creation happens with the word, because where does the word come from? The word
Mhm.
comes from the internal mind,
Mhm.
right? So when
Right.
we are talking of words, we're pulling the words from the internal mind,
Mhm.
the internal eternal mind. Now, the thing about the eternal mind, it's not good or bad. So it's going to allow us to manifest whatever language we pull
Mhm.
from it.
Mhm.
It's not
Right.
good or bad, right?
Right.
So if
Right.
we talk deaf, we get deaf.
Right.
And what I want to tell you is, even though you're 42, you're a baby. Like I just told the last brother, man, your life is just starting right now. And
Mhm.
in one calendar year, love,
Mhm.
if you believe and you put actions behind that belief, whatever you want your life to look like, you can change your life in one calendar year.
Mhm.
Everything that you want, you can be on the path in one
Mhm.
year. Don't underestimate the power of a year. You're not missing
Mhm.
nothing.
Mhm.
Anything that you think you're missing, they create. The only thing that you cannot get back is time. Other
Mhm.
than that, they create cars, they create phones, they print
Mhm.
money. Um, there's so many different beaches, so many different hotels. You haven't been missing out on nothing.
Mhm.
Just by being here, you're
Mhm.
right on time.
Thank
You're
you.
right on. You know what I mean? You're right on time. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I understand that voice in our head sometimes, it be kicking our ass. But here's the trick though. Right now, you can talk to yourself. Okay. So you could talk to yourself, and the conversation that you want to have is retraining the filter that's talking to you. Because what that is the ego. And the
Right.
ego is there to protect us. So the ego will even protect us from good things. The ego
Right.
will protect us from new experiences because it's so conditioned of what we've been doing. So the ego doesn't want you to get hurt. So it's going to
Right.
talk you out of opportunity. It's going to talk you out
Mhm.
of love. It's going to talk you out of taking a risk. But
Oh.
what you tell the ego is, yo, I got this. We are good. We are
Mhm.
loved. And just imagine the ego like, are you sure? Are you
Mhm.
sure?
Right.
All right, all right, right. And then you start to retrain it. But I want to tell you that you right on time. Don't let nobody
Thank.
trick you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Yes.
You right on time. I appreciate you. And when you see me on
Thank you.
live, make sure you
Mhm.
say what's up to me. And
Sure.
oppression is in your mind,
Right.
right? And
Right.
and and the day that you snap your fingers and say I'm free, you're free.
Mm. Mm.
Just like
Thank you.
that. You feel me?
Thank. Yes.
All right. I
Okay.
appreciate you,
No.
beloved. All right.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
You sleep well tonight. All right.
You
Peace.
too. Okay.
Shout out to sis coming through. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. Love is cool. I thought we were gonna have some smoke, but we'll take the love. Anybody else want to call? I was starting with the smoke, but if you want to call and chop it up, I got like 20 minutes. Let's chop it up. Or if not, we'll end gracefully. You know what I'm saying? So this is the link in the chat. That is the number. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I thought it was gonna be some smoke. You know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be some smoke because here I am posting all these amazing Black achievements, and people want to tell me, but it's all good though, right? It's all good. We just working out the kinks. You know what I mean? I understand that Black men and women that have audacity is not going to be received well by their people at first, right? It's going to be a little rough. You know, it's going to be some name calling, right? Because the people don't have the emotional development. But I get it, right? So I expect it. But I want to hear your voice. Since there's no smoke like I thought it was going to be, because it never is when I open that lineup. It never is, right? But there'll be keyboard to death. Talk about my eye now. Talk about Barbara's son now. You sitting up here talking about Barbara's son? Talk about me now. Right? I'm going to kill you with this good eye. Right? Where are you? Because I know if I open up my Facebook, you're on other posts going hammer, right? But that's cool though. It's love day. So if it's no smoke and it's all love, man, how do you but if it's all good, if we'll end it if y'all say end it. You know what I mean? We had a good build, and if nobody got no if nobody got no nothing to say, we can end on a high. It's all good. But make sure you check out Reginald Lewis, Watch the White Guys Have All the Fun. It is a great book. Just a recap, the 10 Commandments for Black males, and this is go for Black women too, but it was about Black men. Thou shalt take care of yourself first. Thou shalt explore your options. Thou shalt have an imagination. Thou shalt have standards. Thou shalt embrace competition. Thou shalt love and respect your woman. Thou shalt be a patriot. Thou shalt put back whatever you take. Thou shalt be selective, not collective. Thou shalt be happy. And that is the call-in number if you want to talk. I'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll get out of here. Because why drag it, right? And my book of the day was Destruction of Black Civilization, because you know what I mean? They swear to God I wasn't conscious before conscious was a thing. I used to say Hotep when it actually meant something. You know what I mean? I used to be in the group watching Ashra Kwesi videos talking about Egypt. You know what I mean? Nah, cool beans. This is what we're going to do. We're going to end it. Because why invite smoke if there is none, right? If you need help with personal development, make sure you call the personal development hotline. It is 888-565-8734. 888-565-8734. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Let's leave on a high note, and let's leave on a love tip, right? Everybody take a deep breath. Let it out slow. Take a deep breath. One more. One more. Money is a friend of ours. Fellowship is a friend of ours. Friendship is important to us. Family, even though it may be crazy and hectic at times, is essential. We love travel. We love to eat good. We are not afraid of hard work. We deserve luxury. We have a desire to be the best that we can be. all our mistakes was necessary for us to get here. A lot of us is hoes. A lot of us is whores, felons, gangbangers, drug dealers, fatherless boys and girls, crazy mamas, right? Poverty. But that's okay though. We here. We outside. It's all good. It's all necessary to get here right now, right? I don't got no tricks, man. I don't got no extra things that I could do to impress you. I can't do backflips. I can't, shoot things out of my eyeballs like Scott Summers. I don't have claws coming out of my knuckles like Wolverine. I can't climb walls like Spider-Man, and I don't have the strength as Superman. But I am a superhero. I just got waves. Peace.
Biggest game, it's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billion's game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life, or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, and, point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day, and I stay studying. And if I look at his video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billion's game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. I'm so glad that I ran across it.